Welcome to Pinellas County Schools TV here on Channel 14 and YouTube. My name is Eric Keaton. Our team has great news. Thanks to Spectrum, we have received hundreds of videos featuring Pinellas County athletic events dating back to the 1980s and 90s. They are classic high school football, basketball, baseball games, and more, showcasing some of Pinellas County's greatest alumni and contests. Visit our website to see what games will be on the schedule, and we will ask for the community's input on social media to find out which game you would like to see in October. So tune in, subscribe to PCS TV on YouTube, and we'll see you on the classic Game of the Week.
Catch 47's Game of the Week pregame show, brought to you by BayNewsHine.com.
It is the biggest sporting event the city of Largo has ever seen. Tonight, Class 5A state semifinals comes to Pinellas County for the first time in 2 decades. The undefeated Largo Packers host St. Thomas Aquinas. The Raiders from Broward County come in at 12-1. Good evening, everyone. I'm Drew Felios. Welcome to the Catch 47 Game of the Week, joined by former Tampa Bay Buccaneer Jeff Carlson. It is rare for it to be this time of year and for us not to be talking about the Lakeland Dreadnoughts. Instead, this year, it is Largo. The Packers enjoying their best season in school history, ranked in our Catch 47 Top 10 poll all season long. Jeff Carlson, we knew they were to the next level, but they have never faced a team as good as St. Thomas Aquinas.
Well, you mentioned Lakeland, and that's the only team that has stopped Aquinas from having 2 straight or even 3 straight state titles. So this team knows where they are right now. They've been here year in and year out. It's going to be a tough matchup.
Let's talk about those Raiders. Jeremiah Harden, a running back, did a lot of damage to Lakeland last year in that state championship game. He's going to get a bulk of the carries tonight.
Well, the numbers on both running backs for both teams are phenomenal, especially the yards per carry average, almost 10 yards, 16 touchdowns. Aquinas has a lot of guys, a lot of weapons, but he is their main go-to guy.
On defense, Division I prospects all over the field for the Raiders. Christian Thompson, the main guy that Largo's going to have to block.
Yeah, he's not huge. He's a linebacker. He's not a really big guy, but he can move well, as so does so many guys in the white tonight. They can run and move, and this is a guy that's going to be sideline to sideline.
Over the past 2 years covering football as we have in Pinellas County, there is no name that we have said more than Brent Harvey. He's going to have to play big time for the Packers to advance.
Well, when you're talking about a one-man team, there's nothing more so than this guy. But Leonard Johnson at quarterback has helped out to make it not quite so bad. But tonight, they want to get it in 27's hand, no doubt. And you can see the numbers as far as breaking the Pinellas County rushing record a single season. This guy is phenomenal. You know how highly I talk of him every time we see him and talk about him. He's great.
And the main unit for Largo isn't the offense. They go with their defense. As the defense goes, so do the Packers. Mike Mary has established himself as a force on the defensive line.
Well, this guy is so good. He goes both ways. He's one of the best blockers on offense, coming from the tight end position as well. But this is a guy that is going to have the game of his life to slow down St. Thomas Aquinas.
Largo taking on St. Thomas Aquinas, the only game on the West Coast tonight on this state semifinals night. The other local team in our viewing area, the Armwood Hawks, playing down in Miami. That is where our own Chris Clark is, and we join him now for a live report from South Florida. Chris?
All right, thanks a lot, Drew. We're down here at Travis Powell Stadium. We got 2 undefeated teams, Armwood and Booker T. Washington, going at it. And, of course, we're talking about a Booker T. Washington squad that's just straight up nasty. Your stats guy, Drew, let me throw some stats at you here. Booker T. Washington giving up an average of 3 points per contest. That's right, a field goal or less, because they've tossed 8 shutouts this go-round. On the ground, that defense just as nasty. They give up an average of 1.2 yards per carry. So Armwood is going to have their work cut out for them. And something else, too. A lot of coaches and players, it's cliche to say things like, we're taking it one game at a time, one play at a time, not trying to look ahead. Talking to Brandon Harris, the senior cornerback, Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Florida, said every time they'd watched film and every time they'd watch their old game tapes and they'd see something wrong, the coaches would say, you got by with it this time, but it's not good enough for Armwood. So needless to say, they've been building up for this game for quite some time. Armwood 2-0 on this field. Booker T looking to change that tonight. We'll have highlights and updates all throughout the contest and a complete wrap-up when all this is done. Drew, Jeff?
All right, Armwood in action tonight in Miami, Largo in Pinellas County. We will have the play-by-play. We've got you covered throughout the state tonight on Catch 47. St. Thomas Aquinas taking on Largo. It's coming up next on Catch 47. It is an absolute perfect night for football, and we are set to go. St. Thomas, wearing the white jerseys, will kick off. And back to receive for Largo, Bryn Harvey in the end zone with Marcel Durham. And they will back up Harvey and start. The Packers will at the 20-yard line. Leonard Johnson at quarterback for Largo has been stellar, and maybe tonight the best athlete on the field. As good as St. Thomas Aquinas is and how many athletes they have, number 5, Jeff Carlson, I think pound for pound the best football player tonight.
Well, you just made a major statement because of the athletes that are on this football field, both sides of the field, including Bryn Harvey. But Leonard Johnson has done some special things this year, probably playing on the defensive side of the ball in college, but he can do it all.
So first down and 10, 2 wide receivers in the game. The fullback is Sean Holt, Bryn Harvey in the I formation, and he'll get the first carry of the game. It's Harvey, 4 yards up to the 24-yard line. Bryn Harvey, part of a Largo offense that has the potential to be explosive. He starts at running back along with Sean Holt. Reggie McCray, your wide receiver, with Mario Gaucher. They have been red hot in the postseason. Mike Mary plays tight end as well as the defensive line. Billy Peach, the transfer from Canada. Cormaine Howard, Travis Feldman, the best lineman pound for pound. Austin Mai and Alex Rodriguez, the nephew of the head coach, at left tackle. Second down and 6 from the 24. It's going to be a straight ahead play. Leonard Johnson tries to get to the outside, and that speed from St. Thomas Aquinas can get corner to corner faster than any team that Largo has faced this season. A sample of that speed right there, Jeff.
Well, they got there, and he lost a couple yards on that. They've got 9 men in the box, and they're going to do it all night long to stop the major rushing attack of Largo and then see if Largo has an answer with the ball up in the air and Leonard Johnson.
So after the 2-yard loss, that'll bring up a 3rd down and 9.
Drew, this is a situation that Largo's rarely in because they run the ball so well. They're always in 3rd and short. 3rd and 9 is not what they want to do tonight.
So here's Johnson. He'll have to roll out. Leonard Johnson stays on his feet with an open receiver downfield, and he overthrew Reggie McCray at the 40-yard line on the other side of the field. Defensively for St. Thomas Aquinas, these guys can play. Eterno, William Nessel, Daniel Doherty, Daniel Reeves, the 2 Daniels up front with Chase Geeney at defensive end. The linebackers, Dorian Graham, Christian Thompson, we talked about in the open with Connor O'Neill. And the secondary, Jeremy Williams, John Carr, and Rodney Gillis. As that stacked defense will run off the field now on 4th down, and Largo will have to punt.
And they do not want to punt it.
And that is a shanked punt up to the 36-yard line.
That is not what they want to do, obviously, with Leonard Johnson punting, but they do also do not want to punt it to number 2, Pierre Louis, who is one of the fastest guys in the country, not just the state, not just tonight, in the country. They do not want to punt it to him. They don't want to kick it deep to him, but that is certainly not the way they wanted to get started tonight.
Philip Pierre Louis, the player Jeff just talked about, he runs a 4.240 as we get a look at Ryan Becker. Took over the starting quarterback job the first game of the year, but did not start that game as the quarterback. So here's Becker out of the shotgun. Fakes once, then gives it off. And here comes Hart, Jeremiah Hart, breaking tackles and gets all the way to the 15-yard line. Offensively for St. Thomas Aquinas, we talked about what Jeremiah Harden can do. He is a big game player. Giovanni Bernard also at running back with the wideouts, Pierre Louise, Dwayne Difton, number 1, and Duron Carter, who wears number 8. Up front, Taylor Juice, Sean Turner, Brandon Linder is your center with Tyler Grinlich and Andrew Datko at left tackle. So after the monster gain, it's 1st down and 10. The give to Harden, and a very short gain as Largo defensively is there that time. Defensively for the Packers, go with Hans Lytle and Travis Feldman up front. Feldman, Coach Rodriguez absolutely loves. The sack master Del Judas and Lucas Kelly along that front. Malcolm Durham, Mike Mary, Sean Hole, and Justin Shaw. 4 linebackers for this Packer defense. Leonard Johnson doubles as a corner. Mike Lang and Reggie McCray also will try and slow down this Raiders offense. Defensively, the Packers standing up to the St. Thomas rush.
St. Thomas Aquinas does a number of different things on offense. They like to grind it out. They're good enough to grind it out, but they also go out of the shotgun a lot. As you see here, almost always they're going to have two backs in the backfield. You saw the misdirection on that first down, the big play to Harden, where they went one way, came back with the opposite way, and it's a tough offense to stop. Here they go, 3 wide receivers, 2 backs in the backfield, 3rd down and 7.
So the first 3rd and long situation for the Raiders. They'll fake the handoff and throw the little screen, but it's incomplete. They were looking for Giovanni Bernard in the flat, but Ryan Becker overthrew him that time.
And if he would have caught it, he had plenty of room to get the first down, probably a touchdown. So this is what Largo needed, especially after their bad start. Let them make their own mistakes. Largo has to play. Remember, Drew, last week, Armwood and Plant. I thought that Plant had to play the more perfect football game, and they were not able to do that. Largo is that team tonight. They have to play the more perfect football game. This was a good start to get them off the field, maybe give up 3 points.
St. Thomas, a factory for kickers. Michael Pilardi on to attempt the field goal, and it is no good. So the Packers stand on defense, and that an emotional boost absolutely after the shape punt by Leonard Johnson.
Really huge. Put it back on the 20 and let's start this thing over again. See if Coach Rick Rodriguez can get that running game going. They're going to run downhill. They're not going to play around. I just don't think they're going to play around anymore with sideline to sideline. They're going to run hard straight ahead.
Let's compare both of these teams, St. Thomas Aquinas and Largo, when you look at how they stack up. In the Final Four now in Class 5A. Both of them really had to play tough schedules to get here. And they score St. Thomas Aquinas with 41 points on the year to Largo's 31. Rushing yards, Largo has the edge, but St. Thomas with a better passing attack. Both great defenses, though. Both teams get after the quarterback and force turnovers as well. So here's Leonard Johnson out of the shotgun. He has been on the run so far a lot. Johnson with a little bit of real estate and maybe picked up a yard as he got out of bounds at the 21.
Drew, I do like the fact that they spread themselves out, went with 3 wide receivers. They're not the big shotgun team. They don't run, this is not their bread and butter, but it takes St. Thomas Aquinas out of that 9-man front where they're just going to run in there and have all these guys, all these big bodies in there to stop Bryn Harvey. This way, they can hand it to Bryn, give him a little bit more space, let him run.
Well, the big surprise for Largo in this postseason has been the play of number 19, Reggie McCray. He has been outstanding and we knew he was a good player, but he has elevated his game in these playoff games. And there you take a look at Reggie. The last few games, especially last week against Cape Coral, he was sensational. 4 wide receivers in the game. Johnson will spread them out and take off. Leonard Johnson to the 38-yard line, a first down for Largo.
And that's what they need, that first down, let's say, and also to get the field position out to nearly the 37-yard line here. But this is it. You get 10 blockers out front. When your quarterback can run the football, everybody knows about the University of Florida and Tim Tebow. When they get 10 guys, you get that extra blocker, you get that extra hole, and you can really make some big things happen from the quarterback position. Leonard Johnson has all the athletic ability in the world to make it happen.
There you saw the damage done this season by Leonard Johnson rushing the football. We'll never forget that play he made a couple weeks ago against Dunedin, too. The somersault. Did you see that on the high school
I
scoreboard?
saw it a number of times.
Man, oh man, Leonard Johnson can do it all. Flag is down. Packers were getting ready to snap it. Let's check the call. It appears to be on the main blue.
Ball, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Those are the types of things, Jeff, with this huge crowd and this game with so much magnitude. A big question going in was, could Largo come in here and play their game? They said they wanted to treat it like another regular season game. But whether they will is the big question in this type of atmosphere. We have never seen an atmosphere like this, not even close in Pinellas County in the years we've been doing games.
No, and it was great to see when we came in. There's atmosphere here. I mean, and deservedly so. This is a state semifinal football game. There should be. So the place is packed out. It's the way it's supposed to be. Drew, going back to that penalty, it really threw me because the delay of game came so quickly after the big game, just getting reset up. But I didn't like the fact that Largo did go back and change the play call from 1st and 10 to 1st and 15. You really, I mean, you can do what you want to do, but
go back, huddle up, think about it, maybe run something different on 1st and 15.
So that brings up a 2nd and 14. They'll pitch it. Here's Bryn Harvey. Surrounded by tacklers, Harvey gets about 3 yards. They'll mark it at the 37-yard line. So that will bring up a 3rd down and 10 as we take another look.
So this is just another way to get it to Bryn Harvey out of the shotgun. As quickly as Leonard Johnson touches it, he wants to pitch it out to the left side, get those offensive linemen pulling outside and getting them up front and getting his, hopefully a hole. Basically, that's what you're looking for, just a little bit. Bryn Harvey does such a great job of running with his shoulders down low that he can shed tacklers on a regular basis without taking that big hit and just keep running through guys. He wasn't able to get through it on this particular play, but that is what he's always done best.
Pinellas County's brand new single-season rushing leader, as St. Thomas drawing the Largo offensive line.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, previous spot, remains 3rd down.
So coming out of the game for the Packers, Austin Mai runs out. As we get a look at head coach George Smith, 31st season at St. Thomas Aquinas, a winning percentage of .829. This guy is a legend.
Amazing stuff.
Inducted into the FHSAA Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Here goes Johnson. Will spin out. What a move by Leonard Johnson. He'll rifle it to the 46. And with the 1st down catch is Mario Gaucher. Gaucher out of bounds at the 40.
Way to protect that football, Gaucher. Catches the ball, gets hit by 3 different guys, says, I'm not going to go down, and he protects that football in a major way because that is exactly what Aquinas was trying to do, pull that ball out of there. That's the athleticism you're talking about, Drew Felios, being able to spin out of that. Not very many quarterbacks can do that. Came real close to the sideline there, but right there is where he did a great job holding on to that football.
Mario Gaucher has had a rough year. There was a period where he was not on this football team, suspended late in the year for off-the-field conduct, but he has gotten it together and they are happy to have him back. And you can see why. Mario Gaucher making a big play. Here's Leonard Johnson trying to find real estate, but a nice tackle made at the 44-yard line. As Christian Thompson, the player we talked about in the open, came up to make the hit.
Dude, this is such an important drive for Largo in that they're taking time off the clock, and that's really what this football team wants to do. They don't care if it's a 2-0 football game, 3-0, whatever it might be. They don't care. They want to hold on to this football and let those guys in white sit on the sideline, get cold in this 70-degree weather, if that's possible. But they just want to control this football and keep it close in the 4th quarter.
Largo will do whatever they have to do to win. An example, that 51 carry performance by Bryn Harvey last year against Countryside, as Leonard Johnson sneaks it. And they'll mark him down at the 42-yard line. 3rd down and 8 coming up.
And you can already tell that this football team, the Largo Packers, have to be more diversified than they were in that 1st-round game last year against Countryside. They just don't have the other side of the football has so many more athletes, and they can run, they can hit, and they're big and strong. So they have to diversify. Leonard Johnson has to be a big part of this offense, as he already has.
Leonard Johnson has been a leader for this Packer team all through this week. He's been the guy who has kept his team level-headed. There's so much hype coming into this contest. Johnson throws it long, but it's picked off. He had a man out there, but just left it a little bit too short. And for St. Thomas Aquinas, Rodney Gills reached up high for the interception. 4:39 to go left, 1st quarter. No score here at Packer Stadium. State semifinals tonight from Packer Stadium as St. Thomas will take over. How both of these teams got here last week. Largo with a huge win over Cape Coral. Cape Coral, the team that beat Manatee and knocked the Hurricanes out of the playoffs. Meanwhile, St. Thomas Aquinas just dismantled Palm Bay, a very good Palm Bay team, 59-14, a game in which 7 players scored touchdowns. That shows you how balanced this St. Thomas Aquinas attack is. George Smith has put together a football factory in his 31 years. So 1st down and 10 for the Raiders. They'll start at the 18 and they'll hand it off to Jeremiah Harden. Big play in the backfield. It's Justin Shaw, number 23, coming up to make the stick.
And we got a flag down, Drew, from the side judge, usually going backwards against the offense. Could be a hold, though, on the outside. We'll see what the call is.
It will be against the Raiders. In this situation, Jeff, do you take the penalty?
I don't. I mean, it really is an either or. You're not going to lose either way. Make it first down again, but I think when you get such a positive play, you make it second down. You're trying to get this, you're trying to get that football team off the field. The biggest deal is stopping their big plays, though. So, I mean, the school of thought is stay.
Illegal block in the back. Offense. That penalty is declined. Take it down.
I agree with Coach Rodriguez and decline this penalty, but you could push them back because they have such big play ability. But you want to get it to fourth down as fast as you can.
Some shifting defensively, and the Packers again stuffing that St. Thomas run. Big number 8, Sean Holt, the sophomore linebacker, plugged the hole, and it's a 2-yard loss for the Raiders.
Well, it looked like Garcia got there first, too, as you see him fall off, and then the finish job by Holt. But just another good job of penetration, getting through that big offensive line quickly before they even get going.
Javon Garcia, also defensive lineman, 5'9", got in there first. And that guy right there, Sean Holt, has had a key role in this Packers attack, and he is a future star for Largo.
Now, I'd like them to back up a little bit on the defensive secondary.
On the rollout, here comes Becker. He'll throw it, and it's incomplete. Was looking for his wide receiver, Deron Carter. And Carter looked like he could have had it, but could not make the catch at the 28. That brings up fourth down.
The junior receiver would like to have that one back. That's an easy catch for him, and would normally make that. Would have been there for the first down, but this is what Largo needs to be successful tonight. Just to be off just enough. And this is why Coach Rodriguez didn't want to travel for these types of things. Hey, when you sleep in your own bed and you're at home, you don't make those kind of mistakes.
A little confusion now on the Largo side. Coach Rodriguez trying to call a timeout. And let's see if the Packers get it. It looked like they had some substitution issues right there before St. Thomas was about to hike the football.
Well, the assistant coaches can't run the players out onto the field too far before they needed to call that timeout.
Jeff, let's take a look at St. Thomas's district. 5A District 16. In there with Hollywood Hills, South Broward, a traditional power, Cooper City, MacArthur, and Western. And there you see the Raiders 5-0, 12-1 overall to get to this point. And you mentioned Jeff Carlson. If it weren't for the Lakeland Dreadnoughts dynasty, this team would be state champions over the past 3 years. There's only been one football team better in the state of Florida in Class 5A over that time, and that is the Dreadnoughts.
Well, I think we've already shown some of the lifeline of this coach and this football program. There's not many better in the entire country. Every state has a team that's got these winning records, and Largo had it in the state of Florida. But St. Thomas Aquinas, this is a national powerhouse.
Benjamin Turk back to kick it off for St. Thomas. And receiving for the Packers, Mario Gaucher. And the Packers will field it at the 48. It's Marcel Durham. Durham gets it to the 47-yard line. We've talked about Bryn Harvey all night long. Harvey took over for Dexter McCluster. And a lot of people never thought that Largo football would be the same after McCluster left 2 years ago to Ole Miss, but Bryn Harvey took over and he has never looked back.
He's been phenomenal. He's just so big and strong, 6 foot, but he runs downhill. He's got a great shoulder lean. I mentioned it earlier, and could just shed tacklers as they come at him. He drops that shoulder, and then he just keeps running. Busts big, long runs right up the middle. Nobody does it as good as he does it inside.
Two completely different styles. Here's Harvey. Made that cut inside. Looked like that could have been a huge gain, but Harvey stopped at the 41-yard line.
Mentioning it right now, just nimbly through there. You see him reading his blocks, and you're right, he almost was able to stride out of that thing and get going, but a nice first down pickup, almost 6 yards.
Bryn Harvey moved over from linebacker 2 years ago. He was on defense for Coach Rodriguez's team. And now Rodriguez tells us it was the best move he has ever made as a high school football coach. Sticking number 27 on the offensive side. Here's Johnson, option play. Harvey bangs his way to the 33.
And that is nice football right there, Drew. Leonard Johnson does exactly what the quarterback in the option is supposed to do. Run downhill into the option man. The last man left on the line of scrimmage is the option man. You make him take the quarterback, and that's what the linebacker did a good job as well. But when you get it to 27 outside, he's going to pick up 3, 4, 5, and they get the first down.
Connor O'Neill made the stop as the Packers move the chains and doing a nice job since that first drive of hanging on to the football. Pitch to Harvey again. They'll stumble forward to the 31.
You know, Drew, Ernest Graham for the Buccaneers has been getting a lot of praise, and justifiably so, because he falls forward, and that's exactly what Bryn Harvey does. And the great ones do that. They'll take hits, but they continue to move the pile forward all the time. That's exactly what Bryn does. Even on this one, he gets tripped up, but he picks up 3 yards.
2 major colleges after Harvey's services, UCF and USF. Jim Levitt had a chance to watch him last week, and I think he was sold. Here he is again, Bryn Harvey. Inside the 20.
And Shane Hood, the wide receiver, has to stay alive on every single play outside because Bryn Harvey's going to be bringing it, and it's very important. As you see right here, look at 82. He's helping him block to get those extra 5 yards right there, bring it inside the 20-yard line, or right on the 20-yard line for the first time for the Packers.
And a nice block also by Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod, they call him on this Largo team, number 78, right there. Cleared the hole.
A sophomore to over 300 pounds.
He's Coach Rodriguez's nephew. Takes up a lot of space along that front. Here's Bryn Harvey. 5 more yards to the 13.
You know, we can go on and on about the history of St. Thomas Aquinas and how good they are and how many great athletes they've got on the football field, but you can see why the Largo Packers are 13-0. They just keep coming at you. And again, this plays right into the Packers' game plan, what they want to do. This is almost taking the rest of the first quarter off the clock, and the St. Thomas has only had to play, 6, 8 plays total. They've missed a couple passes, but that's all Largo needs. Now they start wearing them down with number 27.
2nd and 5, the pitch to Harvey, and he'll barely get back to the line of scrimmage, if that.
I don't think he did, Drew.
Call it a loss of 1 as they'll mark it now at the 13-yard line, as Largo has to get past the 10 for a first down.
And Louis Mariquin is the kicker for Largo, and he does not have the biggest leg in the world. He's had a very good year, though, but they are in field goal range for him if they are not successful on this 3rd down attempt.
3rd and 3, the wide receivers, Mario Gaucher and Reggie McCray at the top of your screen.
I would have gone right back to that option that they ran earlier.
They'll go to the fullback. It's Sean Holt, and Holt dragging tacklers inside the 5.
What a beautiful call. I said I'd go to the option. This is even much better call. Go away from your tendency. That's what, really a great call by the offensive coordinator. Go away from your tendency, Bryn Harvey or Leonard Johnson, and come up with a big 3rd down play. Watch as they keep going outside, and then the quick hitter inside. And the guys up front do the job, as well as Holt. Only a sophomore, Drew.
Coach Rodriguez raves about Sean Holt. We can see why. As a timeout now on the field. Largo is pumped up on the Packers side. We have played 1 quarter at Packers Stadium. Hang on, we got a football game, folks. No score in Pinellas County. The Packers and the Raiders in the state semifinals. It's been an undefeated season for Largo High School football. It's also been a record-breaking year. Several marks shattered for this football program. First of all, on the defensive line, Daniel Del Judas, a new school record for sacks. Bryn Harvey setting the single-season rushing record for Pinellas County. We never thought that one would be broken. Mike Mary, a new school record for solo tackles, and the most shutouts for a team in one season going to Largo. What a year it has been, Jeff, for these Packers.
Well, and talking to Coach Rodriguez, this team is on the rise. You know, St. Thomas Aquinas has been there, done that for so many years. This Largo football team is just building the program. They're building the support from the student body, from the parents. It's still on the rise, and you can see why.
First down and goal. Leonard Johnson will take over from the 3-yard line, and right now trots
trying to find his
near
mouthpiece
the sideline to get his mouthpiece as he picks it up off the turf. Bunch formation, everybody stacked up for Bryn Harvey, and he goes straight ahead for the Largo touchdown.
The power I formation, Mike Mayer, you see him right there in the middle of your screen. He's the guy that we highlighted as the linebacker, also doubles as a tight end and one of the best blockers. They bring him into the backfield to lead that charge along with Holt, and it's an easy walk in the park for Bryn Harvey. See those guys up front? That's what they do. The Largo Packers have done that all year long, haven't lost a football game, and they get up on St. Thomas Aquinas early in this one.
Lewis Mariquin on to try the extra point to make it 7-0, and the kick is blocked. So unsuccessful. Largo will have to settle for a 6-0 lead. Several fans here tonight, and it's not just the Largo fans who have come out to support their team, but also the coaching contingency. Roxanne Wilder, the third member of our crew, down on the sideline with more. Roxanne?
That's right, Drew. Coach Rick Rodriguez has been busy this week preparing for the game, but also answering his telephone. He's been getting calls from Sam Roper, Jay Austin, Tom Bostic, coaches around Pinellas County, just to name a few, all with the same message, all wishing them the best and saying this game and hopefully this win is for Pinellas County. Guys?
It definitely is a statement for this county, Jeff. Keep in mind, no team ever in Pinellas County history has won a state championship. I mean, that almost seems like it's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can just think how many years have gone by where they have had some very solid, good football teams, some great football teams, and not to be able to turn the corner and finally get to the state championship. But it just proves how hard the road really is. And for teams like Lakeland, like St. Thomas Aquinas that have been able to do that, it is a major accomplishment.
Another look at the touchdown.
See those two lead blockers. Mike Mary got all the way into the end zone before he got contact and just blew his man away. And you see how easily Harvey runs through the leg tackle.
Largo offensive attack that time looked like a freight train. As you saw for St. Thomas, John Carr just driven back 10 yards into the end zone.
They look like a freight train coming at most teams. This team has this team in the gold helmets has the ability to stop them, but we'll find out if they can or not.
So here's the Packers to kick it off. Lewis Mariquin, a short kick, and they'll fair catch it at the 45-yard line. Interesting move by Largo High School. We'll get to it in just a second. Let's take a look at the schedule for St. Thomas. Only one loss on the year, but some very good teams. And look at the lopsided scores. They put it on an awful lot of teams. Look at the second half of their schedule with Broward, MacArthur, Western. Not many points scored by the opposition, but Jeff, back to that kickoff. Little surprised?
Well, I know they don't want to kick it deep to the speedsters, but kicking it only 15 yards down the field, you're just hoping that a guy that's not used to catching that fair catch would drop it and maybe get an easy turnover.
So for St. Thomas, here come the Raiders. It's Giovanni Bernard with a huge gain. 23 yards all the way to the 34-yard line. A first down for the Raiders.
Trying to make up for that early missed pass that could have probably gotten himself in the end zone, but making a big play. These guys have such big play potential. That's just basically what Coach Rodriguez and the Packers are trying to do, is just limit the big plays.
So many different running backs will handle the football tonight for Aquinas. Here comes Becker, and he's stopped as Hans Lytle was there to trip him up. Also number 9's playing big-time football. Mike Mary was there.
This is kind of their bread and butter. They do this a lot. Now, like I said, his job, the quarterback's job, Becker's job, is to run at 88 as fast as he can, get there, make him commit, and give it up. Give the football up to those fast guys. So if I were him, he'd come straight down the line, attack that defender, and give the football up.
Watch Jeremiah Harden now in the I formation. They'll fake it to him. And Becker on the move, just throws it away. And Largo defenders wanting a grounding call that time, but I don't think they're going to get it.
There wasn't anybody within 25 yards of where he threw that football out of bounds.
The referees will talk this over, and let's see.
And here it comes. Here comes the flag, Drew.
Oh, that is a huge play for Largo.
But you know what, Drew? If I'm the quarterback coach, as we just saw him on the sideline, that was Dave Billetier on the sideline, the quarterback coach. I don't get on my quarterback about that at all. Save yourself, play for another day. Don't take a big sack, even if you do throw it to nobody, and take that penalty.
So this will bring up a 3rd down and 20.
You know, it looked like the referee put up a fist, like loss of down, and it's 4th down. So we're going to see if he did that right or not. He put up his fist. That's a 4th. That means 4th down. And it's a loss of down, but it shouldn't. I don't believe that it should be. I think it should be 3rd down.
It should be 3rd down. And now that is what the discussion is about it. Right over the football.
The loss of down makes it 3rd down.
So 3rd down, 20. And Ryan Becker now in the shotgun. He has had not much luck throwing the football tonight. The Raiders try and spread the field. Becker downfield, and he just overshoots everybody.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. I like his target, boy. I was talking to you offline when, where is his number?
Number 88.
Gaberson Holmes is 6'6", wide receivers, only a junior. He's got all kinds of athletic ability. Becker was just way off the mark on that throw. It was great coverage, to tell you the truth. They had him covered up. He overthrew him by 10 yards.
So the Raiders will have to punt it away. Benjamin Turk into the game. The Packers will watch for the fake here. As this Aquinas team so crafty in how they move the football. And when you talk about just glitz and glamour and pageantry, this Aquinas team just has it all together. They look like a college program. I thought that I have seen programs like Manatee, like Lakeland, that when you cover their games, you feel like you're at a college game. But I think St. Thomas Aquinas takes the cake as far as that's concerned. Their coaches, Jeff Carlson, chartered a flight to get here as early as they could today. Their team was having their pregame meal at Clearwater Central Catholic High School. Everything's so well organized. You've seen teams in the past just kind of pull up to a school and get off the bus.
Drew,
not the case here.
They've been there, done that. They know how to do it. And what really put me over the edge was during the national anthem, there's a 2,000 or 3,000 person crowd, choir over there singing the national anthem. It was amazing how they were all together. This crowd knows how to travel and how to support their football team as well.
They really are amazing. So here comes the punt. As Turk stands back at his 40. No one back right now for Largo. Mike Lang, the closest one to the ball, and Turk will just kick this one inside the 5, and it goes into the end zone where we will have a touchback. Well, we told you at the beginning of the game we're going to be keeping our eye on the Armwood Hawks. Our very first update of the night from Miami. The Hawks down in South Florida taking on Booker T. Washington, and here is Mywan Jackson. A 10-yard touchdown run moments ago to get Armwood on the scoreboard. Booker T comes right back though. Torrance Moyes on the 1-yard touchdown run. And right now it's 14-7. Booker T. Washington leads Armwood. We'll continue to keep you updated throughout the night as the Hawks trying to advance to another state championship game. Leonard Johnson in the postseason. Balance has been the name of the game.
You can see on your screen, all the defenders are inside of the box.
They give to Harvey. It does not matter. Largo's still going to run it. And Harvey gets up to the 22-yard line. That's a pickup of about 3 yards to bring up a 2nd and 7.
I really like what Largo's done in this first half, and diversifying, really. Number 27 is the workhorse. He's the star. But Leonard Johnson, we've seen Holt carry the football, doing some different things to keep St. Thomas Aquinas off balance. Even though they want to stack it, they want to get all 9 guys inside and try to slow that down. They did such a good job with the quarterback draw, the option that they ran, and giving it up to Holt for that big 3rd down conversion. They've done a lot of different things, and I think that is absolutely the key to winning tonight.
Harvey again. Brent Harvey pounding it to the 38.
He is getting some clean looks into the secondary. It is only a matter of time before he goes the distance, Drew. See how clean he comes off the shoulder of the blocker up front, and he's going to, there's the option play that they ran on the last series. Here's a couple more from the last series, but you see him read those blocks, stepping back inside of the downfield block, but it is only a matter of time till he is going to get a clean look for a long distance run.
Well, he got the offensive performance last year on the Game of the Week in our award show, and he's not done yet. Harvey breaking tackles, pounding it to the 46. He looks like Mike Allstott right now. And it's those types of runs that really keep the crowd in the football game. They move the sticks, and they keep a St. Thomas defense on the field.
That forward lean, but look at the blocking up front. Mike Mary taking care of his guy, getting him out of the way. Everybody up front doing their job right now. Got to keep the hands inside. Don't want to get a holding penalty anytime and push yourself back 10 yards and give yourself put in situations that you don't want to be in.
All of the momentum right now on the Largo side as St. Thomas wants to talk this over. Right now, they got a running back on the other side that's running them over. As you take a look at the capacity crowd here, the line to get in this football game started at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And man, it was stretching back at least a mile. As the Packers, first Pinellas County semifinalists since '95, since the days of Northeast High School, and Jerry Austin was the head coach there. Before Northeast, Dunedin High School in 1987 hosted a state semifinal game. That's the last game that was hosted by a Pinellas County school. So Jeff, it's been 20 years since a Pinellas County school has hosted this type of football game.
Well, you just mentioned that, and you saw the number there. There's only 6 teams that have even appeared in this football game right now. That's amazing to me as well. Hopefully they can make their first state final appearance.
And there's the biggest reason. Rick Rodriguez building this program from scratch. He's been here 7 years. This is his 8th season as Largo's head coach. Second and 2, the pitch to Harvey. A flag comes down as Bryn Harvey has stood up at the 48-yard line. Going to be close to a first down. But let's check out the flag as somebody may have moved early.
Yeah, we'll see what the penalty is, but he's about a foot short of the first down from the mark.
I believe the penalty.
Sideline warning.
Yeah, a sideline warning will be the flag.
Sideline warning.
But that doesn't mean anything to what happened on the football play. So it should be about 3rd and a football. They do need to measure this. Coach Rodriguez needs to know how many inches he needs. I always ask for a measurement when you're this close.
Two wideouts in the game. Leonard Johnson will give to Harvey, and Bryn Harvey, that's going to be very close. And depends on the spot. Looks from up here like he has it.
Drew, I think it was close enough on the last one that he could have had the first down, and I think the spot gives it to him on this particular play.
Looks like they may have to come out here and measure.
They gave him about a football on the gain. I thought he got more than a football's mark, but I do believe it's hard to see the mark from across the football field, but I do believe he's got it by half a football.
Oh, here comes the chain gang to measure. This Largo team not very deep. St. Thomas goes with first and second teams. Largo with a roster not nearly as large. As we get a look at the spot, is it enough for a Packer first down? Well, they are measuring this thing to the inch.
I guess. Drew, I said half a football. Got ourselves about half a football.
Looks from up here like it's about a nose of a football.
Drew, it's exactly half a football. Look at that.
About 2/3 of a football.
You don't want, give me some, we're 100 yards away from that thing. That's why, hey Drew, you see how close I came to that call right there? That's why I would have asked for a measurement on the last play. So it could have been a first down on the last play if you ask me.
It is a Largo first down. Jeff Carlson with the 20/20 vision.
You're trying to take that away from me.
And it is in this situation that Rick Rodriguez likes to draw the other team's defense and then loft one over the top to Reggie McCray. Let's see how long it takes for the Packers to let one fly here. They'll give it to Holt. Always Holt's got some room. Sean Holt to the 31.
If they weren't running into the backs of each other, these guys would already have 3 touchdowns on the board. They just haven't been able to break loose for those final runs. He had a great run, great hole. Again, the good call inside, great trap blocking as you see. And then Reggie McCray gets in the way of a big, big gain. But you know what, Drew? I don't have a problem with them just driving and keeping the clock running, really in Largo's favor.
He has been the MVP possibly so far in this game, along with Bryn Harvey. Sean Holt.
The offensive coordinator's calls too. Great timing on those.
Harvey runs through a tackle in the backfield to get to the 24. I mean, there you see an example of why Bryn Harvey is so good. Connor O'Neill for St. Thomas had him in the backfield, but Harvey just ran right through the leg tackle. And I think part of that also has to do with Jeff Carlson, the fact that this field is hosting this game. Largo's so comfortable with playing on this field, which does not have grass in all the right places.
The dog patch, he knows how to step out of ankle tackles, and O'Neill is a solid tackler, one of the best on the football team. Steps out of it, but they like this dog patch.
Well, you mentioned the dog patch. They call it that because Coach Rodriguez says that dogs come out during the week. People walk their dogs onto the field and they take care of their business right here on Largo's home field. Every Monday night, please join us for the Beef O'Brady's High School Scoreboard. It's the Bay Area's only high school sports show. This week, a special show is Tampa Catholic. Tries for their first state title in school history, playing for a state championship in Orlando against Madison County. Also, Largo, Armwood looking to punch their tickets to the state championship games. It's the Beef O'Brady's High School Scoreboard only on Catch 47. Several upgrades, Jeff Carlson, had to be made to this stadium this week. Pinellas County officials came in here and looked at the stadium and said, hey, we have got to make some upgrades. And Coach Rodriguez called it an extreme makeover to the stadium to get it ready for this type of atmosphere.
We brought in some more stands on both sides and end zone stands for the bands. It looks nice and the energy is great.
Here's Bryn Harvey. 3 yards to the 20. Leonard Johnson and Reggie McCray. A great 1-2 punch for Largo. Roxanne Wilder is down on the field with more. Roxanne?
Well, guys, it's been since the Lakewood game this year that Reggie McCray and Leonard Johnson had both been playing not only on offense but on defense as well. So I was kind of shadowing Leonard Johnson on the sideline here. I'd watch him run back to the sideline from playing on defense, grab some water, go talk to Coach Angelo, the offensive coordinator, run back out there. So not only is that job physically taxing, but it's mentally taxing as well. But as the Largo coaches told me, they have to utilize those guys' speed in order to win the game on both sides of the ball. Guys?
First down for the Packers, and it's Harvey again, 4 yards. It's not pretty, but it's effective so far in this first half. And it's not just Bryn Harvey, but it's that Largo offensive line. Some great stories along that front. The main guy that stands out, I believe, is Billy Peach, number 77 on that Largo line. Billy Peach, a transfer from Canada. He showed up at Coach Rodriguez's doorstep last spring. And oh, what a surprise he was. Sometimes when you're a great program, great players show up at your doorstep, kind of like a Matt Patchen did for Armwood. As the Packers with the short gain, barely inside the 15.
Roxanne just spotlighted Leonard Johnson, and Leonard Johnson is such a key, not only in running this offense. he was out in front of the blocking a lot of times for Bryn Harvey. And play before last, he was 10 yards down the field making blocks in the secondary, trying to spring that running play. But these guys, the Largo front five that you know really are the workhorses of this whole thing, doing a great job.
3rd and 5. They pitch to Harvey. Bryn Harvey with a Largo touchdown.
Looks familiar. I told you it wouldn't be long before he just broke it open. He finds those holes. The inside guys again. We just mentioned all of them. Inside, he breaks through the initial guys. And with St. Thomas Aquinas having you see all these guys coming from the outside. He breaks through it. Nobody back in the secondary to stop it. And they are up by 2 touchdowns.
Mariquin's extra point is good. He has been a workhorse so far, shining with the spotlight of the state on number 27. Bryn Harvey is delivering. And when we come back, Largo will kick it off 13-0 here at Packer Stadium in the 5A state semifinal. To give you an idea of the magnitude of this football game and the reason why Pinellas County has come together, look no further than the state titles by county. Polk leads the way with 15. Manatee with 7. Hillsboro with Plant, making it number 6 last year. Look at the goose egg for Pinellas. Northeast has made a run. Dunedin, a power in the past. Largo now the latest team to threaten to make that goose egg a 1. It has taken how long since they've had football in Pinellas County? 60 years?
Well, they got a long way to go tonight. They got to keep their concentration. They cannot lose the intensity that they have. They got to play for 48 minutes. You see Bill Belichick on the sideline all the time. They love this. 60 minutes, 60 minutes. Well, these guys play 48 minutes, and Coach Rodriguez is going to remind them they need 48 minutes of football tonight.
Another short kick. Mariquin puts it in the air, and the Raiders will field it at the 35.
Now, they blew that dead. I don't know why. He did not fair catch that ball, but the side judge on the opposite side of the field blew that dead after he caught it. I don't know what happened there.
The Raiders will take over at the 34-yard line. Well, on the other side, St. Thomas has had nothing to cheer about since this game began. The crowd kind of shocked over there. In the pregame, you could sense this was a very confident Raiders crowd that had followed their team from South Florida. So far, nothing to get excited about.
Well, the offensive line sure charged to the line of scrimmage like they are ready to attack. We'll see what happens.
Total yards totally in favor of the Packers. Busting loose for the Raiders is Giovanni Bernard. And a late flag comes down.
Must have been a face mask on the way down because it came in so late from the back judge. But you see how explosive these Raiders can be. They've had 3 or 4 of these big runs. That's just an inside run. You see him miss him in the backfield. They've been able to, you know, over time, get him in the backfield and make long yardage situations work for them. Here they pick up and get into a positive territory.
Defense, 5 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Only a 5-yarder as that offensive line sprints to the line of scrimmage again, but they are very, very explosive. That's what I'm talking about. The defense staying intense for 48 minutes.
Becker out of the shotgun. He'll throw it. Now in some trouble. Gets out of the pocket. Chasing is Mike Mary. And he'll get him down at the 40. There you see the speed from number 9.
You see the strength, Drew.
Who closes pretty quickly.
When somebody's running directly away from you, it's kind of hard to lift them and throw them while you're at full speed. Watch him finally catch up to Becker, and he basically launches him from a stiff arm. Watch this. He tries to stiff arm him. He launches him up in the air. That is true strength by number 9 right there in blue.
It's still a 7-yard gain for the Raiders. Now a 2nd down and 3. Largo defense, plug in the middle. As number 88, Hans Lytle, makes the stop. Largo High School lately also a basketball power as well as a football power since the turn of the century. Coach Phil Price does a tremendous job on the hard court. These guys have really made the perception the gridiron over the past 7 years. Big hole. And here's Bernard. Inside the 20, Giovanni Bernard to the 15.
And he just keeps throwing him off of his legs. This guy has got special talent as well. You know, we talked about Harden in the open. We haven't seen him really run the ball but once or twice, and he had a couple of explosions. But this one, he just keeps running past him. And you see McCray trying to hold on for dear life until some help can come around, and he needs all the help he can get to finally get him down on the ground.
Justin Shaw finally brought him down, and you saw a few missed tackles there. Big key for the Packers tonight to make those tackles in the open field.
And he is down in the fullback position, Harden in the tailback slot.
Becker will throw it. A wide open Harden. Jeremiah Harden with a juke and a score. Will they call it a touchdown? No. Right on the line is Jeremiah Harden.
The Aquinas receivers wanted the touchdown. The referee said put it at the half-yard line.
A well-designed play, and you see how they use their running backs very creatively for St. Thomas.
Good fake inside. You have to respect it. Harden gets outside in the easy swing pass, almost nets him a touchdown.
Boy, this two-back attack of Bernard and Harden can do lots of damage to any football team.
Rodriguez said that they would have to do a great job of open field tackles. Mike Mary wasn't able to bring Harden down on that situation. They are going to have to do it sometimes with only one man.
Largo defensively up to the task. Mike Lang comes up to make the hit. As the clock continues to roll, approaching the 3-minute mark in the first half.
This time they get 2-3 guys on the ball at the point of attack. You see some help there, finishing it off, taking it back to almost the 2-yard line for this. Is it third down or second down?
It's second down and goal. Second down and 2. A different formation, wishbone-like in the backfield. Couple of fakes, and the handoff is good for the touchdown to Ronnie Kennedy. The junior running back gets St. Thomas Aquinas on the board.
Then that set with the 3 backs in the backfield is the old wishbone, and the easy touchdown run is why so many teams ran this for so long before the advent of the forward pass. You can fake so many different directions, go misdirection. Two backs come left, the easy back goes to the right. Kennedy with the touchdown untouched.
Extra point is perfect. Benjamin Turk drills it through.
Now, Drew, here's a situation for the Largo Packers. They do not run the hurry up very often. They're usually in the lead. They are in the lead now, but of course you want to add to that lead before halftime. But 2:45, we'll have to see where they get possession. Take one more look at the touchdown run by Aquinas. There's 3 backs in the backfield, 2 come left. You see the fake to Harden. Got to respect that. Kennedy going back the opposite direction. But depending on where Largo ends up with this ball after the end of the kickoff is how you kind of attack. If you don't get it out past the 25, 30-yard line, you want to be conservative and not give up anything. If you don't get your first down, giving Aquinas enough time to score again before halftime.
You saw the 3-headed running back attack on that last drive. Jeremiah Harden, Giovanni Bernard, and Ronnie Kennedy mixed in. It's probably the biggest strength for this Raiders team.
You see Dave Angelo, a highly regarded assistant, talking with Leonard Johnson before he goes into this football game, just talking the same types of things that I was saying. We got to be careful with this football. We don't want to turn anything over and give them another chance before this half is out.
Kick is away, and it's fielded by Mario Gaucher. As Gaucher gets it to the 21-yard line. St. Thomas Aquinas, an all-star group. As the Raiders look at the list of alum that dates back here to the mid-'80s. Players that have gone on to the NFL. Michael Irvin, former Dallas Cowboy, now Hall of Famer in the NFL. Brian Piccolo, you remember the movie Brian's Song? One of my favorites. Sterling Palmer, Twan Russell, over 30 players playing in college right now on Division I rosters. And there's a look at some of them down at the bottom of the screen. To say Aquinas is a football factory, it's an understatement. They trail Largo here 13-7. Leonard Johnson trying to get outside. Picks up a block, and Leonard Johnson out of bounds at the 26.
That was really a very nice pickup, all on his own. After the inside run that they were trying to pull off doesn't happen. There was two defenders outside that's picked up by one blocker's picked up right there by McCray, but that one turning the corner on number 10, Dorian Graham, was all the athleticism and the speed of Leonard Johnson.
Leonard Johnson, many people that are experts in college football project him as a cornerback at the next level. Say he'd be great in a secondary. As we imagine, that's where he'll end up playing. Tonight he is under center. And taking the snaps here for the Packers as Johnson sneaks it forward. Packers now about 2 yards shy of a first down. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2, and with the clock approaching the 2-minute mark, the Packers want to keep the clock moving and head into halftime.
Yeah, this is almost a situation. It's probably a little too far for them to go into their full house backfield on the play that they scored their touchdown with. But you want to be conservative. You want to get this first down and then line up again and start picking up the pace after you pick up the first down.
St. Thomas crowd, everybody's on their feet. 4 wide receivers in the game for Largo. Johnson under pressure, will throw it. And did McCray come down with it?
He did.
Yes, he does. Down. And it will be a Largo first down, a key catch by Reggie McCray.
Not the play I would have come up with. Obviously, it goes for the first down. I thought it was way too high risk. You see him in trouble, throwing off his back foot. McCray probably out of bounds before he caught that football. But really, the defender had as much opportunity to catch that ball and go the opposite direction as McCray did. Great play that they got it in the first down. I thought too high of a risk play in that situation, Drew.
But this time it works. Johnson out of the shotgun, just barreling forward to the 34. Packers look like they're content to just try and run out this clock.
They even moved Bryn Harvey into the slot. Bryn can catch the football. They move him into the slot, and Aquinas really doesn't bring anybody up on him. You want to usually in normal situations, you're going to want to take advantage of a situation in a matchup like that. But here, like you say, they're just going to I think they're just going to go in and say a 6-point lead at halftime is what we want, and we're very, very happy with that.
Holt is in the game. Bryn Harvey lines up as a wide receiver. Leonard Johnson wants to throw downfield and was looking for Mario Gaucher, but nearly had an interception by Rodney Gills at the 35. You talk about high risk.
Yeah, well, Coach Rodriguez talked about taking their shots and coming up with it this time. You got to say, they were ready for it. Rodney Gillis was back there, had the best shot at it, could have turned that around. And the scary part is, if they got their blockers going, they could have put themselves in a situation to score, right before halftime. That is not what they want. But now they're in a 3rd and 7 situation. You might want to just run the football here and let the clock go, but then you're going to get a timeout by the guys in white.
Aquinas stacks the line as Bryn Harvey picks up 4 yards to the 38. And St. Thomas Aquinas will call a timeout with 52 seconds left to go in this first half. Well, an entertaining football game so far it has been, as Largo with 2 touchdowns in the first half. 1 missed extra point explains the 13 points. St. Thomas Aquinas just got on the board minutes ago, marching downfield, and Ronnie Kennedy scoring from 3 yards out. That's where we're at, 13-7. And stay tuned at halftime. We will have another update from Chris Clark down in Miami as the Armwood Hawks continue to battle Booker T. Washington. The last time we checked in, it was 14-7 Booker. We'll also have a Toyota Sports Connection update and a special conversation, Jeff Carlson, with 2 officials from the Sun Bowl that are here in attendance tonight to educate us Tampa Bay football fans on what to expect if you're heading out to El Paso or even watching it on TV. It's all coming up at the half. So 4th down and 5, Leonard Johnson standing at his 26 back to punt. Johnson will boot it. And with the return, here comes Philip Pierre-Louis, the fastest player on this Aquinas team. Pierre-Louis to the 35 as the flag comes down. But you see the electrifying play of Philip Pierre-Louis is the first time we've really seen him with his hands on the football.
Well, Drew, the gas came out from the coaches up here in the booth with us. They did not want to kick it to number 2. He kicked it right down the middle of the football field. It'd be better to kick it out of bounds and lose 10 yards on the length of your kick than to give number 2 a chance. He is a speed demon. The flag did come out late, and there was a bad block earlier, right around midfield. There was a bad block in the back, and that should bring it all the way back.
Let's check out the call.
They're going to say the spot of the foul was at the 37-yard line, so it's just going from the end.
Block in the back, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Results in a first down.
Drew, I thought the spot of the foul was significantly further back. About right where they spotted it there is where the block I saw, at least this block I saw that was bad. And I started looking for a flag on the field. It came much further. The flag came down about the 37-yard line. I thought it was earlier in the play than that.
36 seconds for St. Thomas Aquinas to get some points. They'll give it to Harden. Jeremiah Harden to the 37, right at the first down marker as the clock stops at 27.
The size of the hole on that simple handoff is so huge for these running backs, but Largo so far, outside of the one touchdown drive that they made, has been able to weather the storm. We'll see if they can keep him off the scoreboard here.
Keep in mind, the Raiders kicker Benjamin Turk has 1 missed field goal so far. So the Raiders want to make sure they at least get inside the red zone to attempt a field goal.
Drew, I was watching him in pregame. I think his range is about 47 yards. That's what I would put it at, right about 47 yards. I don't think he's going to be a regular maker of a 50-yarder. So I would say about 47. That means they need to get about another 7 yards, 7 to 8 yards if they want to attempt a field goal.
And a measurement for the first down. Going to be about a foot short.
Drew, I could have told you that, but I think you would have said I was wrong.
I would have said it was a foot and 3 inches. Second down. Keep an eye on the clock. Everybody on the Packers side wanting defense. 4 wideouts in the game. Here's Becker. Looks to his left, throws, and it's incomplete. Well played on defense by Justin Shaw, who has stepped up tonight.
Yeah, and a good non-call, I think. There was a little bit of contact before the football got there, but I think it was incidental, more with the legs as they were going. Watch this right there. That's actually pass interference in my book, but they get away with it on the home field. Oh, and I'm getting a lot of flack from the coaches up here, but I have to tell you, I call it the way I see it. He ran into him in the back. That's called pass interference at any level, but there was no flag, so it keeps going. Second is now 3rd down and short.
Here's Becker, right side, leaves it short. So clearly Ryan Becker struggling passing the football in this first half.
Well, they're going to pass it again here with 16 seconds left. Actually, they may not pass it. If they just run the same shotgun trap off to the left side, the holes have been so huge. Go for it.
But there's only 16 seconds, Jeff, so you got to get out of bounds.
Well, they're showing 2 timeouts left on the clock. I'm not sure how many timeouts officially they have, but they run it, pick up the first down, and either kick the field goal or run one more play for the end zone.
Interesting set of circumstances here for St. Thomas Aquinas. They'll hand it off. It'll be Harden right up the gut, running through that hole, and coming up to make the stick is Leonard Johnson.
Well, the clock stops. They're gonna clock the ball, and it'll stop with about 8 or 9 seconds left once they blow it, and they can do what they want from there.
As they kill the clock, 10 seconds.
I think they throw to the end zone, Drew, one time, and even still after that, go ahead and kick a field goal.
Another look at Leonard Johnson. Keep in mind, this kid's playing quarterback on the other side, not afraid to stick in his helmet.
And it was a big tackle right there, but you see how easily he gets all the way to Leonard Johnson. That's what they're going to have to shore that up in the second half, because I really think that Aquinas will just stick more to the run game. It's wide open for the most part. They just have to be able to make a couple plays and get them in that third down situation and come up with their big play. But as long as they keep doing what they're doing on offense and keep it out of Aquinas' hands, they got a great shot at moving on to their first state title shot ever.
So after the timeout, Richard Barrios checks in for the Raiders, and we've got a delay of game on the field against St. Thomas Aquinas.
An amazing mistake at this far into the football season, Drew. You're playing for a chance to play for a state title, and now you've set yourself up to kick a 47-yard field goal, I said, which is about the limit. Now they've got to throw for the end zone and then hope for the best.
Ronnie Kennedy in motion. Here's Becker, avoids the rush, throws it up, and it's knocked away. Largo's defense standing strong. Marcel Durham there on the coverage.
I'm not sure if Durham could have caught that ball or not. It sure would have been great to intercept it, because now they could bring out their field goal unit. Doesn't look like they're going to. They're going to throw one more time for the end zone. Just wasn't sure as he jumped up for that to knock it away if he could have pulled that in, because they got one more shot at it here.
So with 3 seconds to go,
they're going to take their final timeout, Drew.
They will use one. This Raiders team will huddle up, and Largo will do the same on the other side. And keep in mind, this St. Thomas club with a star-studded not only player staff, but coaching staff. When you talk about former NFL legend Chris Carter, Minnesota Viking, also Miami Dolphin, former Ohio State star Jeff Carlson. You had a chance to visit with Chris Carter before the game. What'd he say?
Well, I was just asking him about different players and just, asking him, what guys do best, what they do best, just like I would with any coach out there. But obviously, he has been around so many places. He and I kind of crossed paths. We don't know each other, but I crossed paths when I was playing. But that guy is one of the best. He is a Hall of Fame finalist right now, I believe. He made the final list this year.
Chris Carter, very much into it as a head coach, as you can see right there. Final play of the half for the Raiders. Becker looks for the end zone, throws it up to his tall tight end, and it's knocked away by the Packers. So Largo could not have asked for a better first half. 13-7, the Packers will trot to the locker room, and our halftime show's coming up next. You're watching the 5A state semifinals on Catch 47.
I'm with Coach Rodriguez, guys, and Coach, I just wanted to ask you, I mean, from watching Leonard Johnson, I'm tired from watching him. He's putting so much effort out there on the field. Can you talk about his play tonight?
He's doing fine. He's a special player. He's a guy we'll get the ball to, and he makes plays. And Brent's going to get the ball a little more second half, but he's in there doing a pretty good job for us, Leonard.
Now, going in this week, maybe scouting St. Thomas Aquinas, you want to contain their speed. You've done that so far in the first half. How have you guys been able to do that?
Our defense playing, top-notch defense, and also a couple missed tackles. That's the reason they got that drive here at the end. It scored. We had a couple missed tackles. We had the people there, just missed tackles. We had correct missed tackling, and we'll be fine.
Final question, Coach. What message are you going to give the guys in the locker room right now?
We got 2 quarters left, and 24 minutes, and we'll go to state. That's about it. All you work for is right here on the front of you, right here.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Back to you guys.
All right, Roxanne Wilder with head coach Rick Rodriguez. Largo leads 13-7. That's what's going on here in Pinellas County. Down in Miami, the Armwood Hawks in a battle with Booker T. Washington. That's where our own Chris Clark is. Chris, take it live from down in South Florida.
Yeah, we got ourselves a game down here, man. Let me tell you, at Nat Powell Field, we got 14-7 as we speak. Booker T. Washington on top of Armwood, and Armwood not looking the greatest. Show you what I'm talking about here. Early on, that Booker T. Washington defense as good as built. We're talking about those guys from Armwood running around in the backfield. Mywan Jackson, no place to go. He gets taken down, and of course, then they fumble on their own 20-yard line later on. That would set up a Booker T. Washington touchdown. That would put them ahead 14-7, and then they try to get back into it. Armwood throwing the football, but these guys can't quite make it stick. A drop pass really hurt right there, drive killer. And then, of course, before the end of the half, a big emotional boost. We got Matt Patchen forcing a fumble as Booker T. Washington trying to punch it in to take a 21-7 lead, but like we said, forced a fumble and stuffed it. Hopefully that'll be a little bit of momentum for Armwood. Right now, the Hawks no answer for that spread offense. Booker T. able to march down the field with short passes over the middle. Hopefully Armwood makes the adjustments in the second half and makes a game out of this. Drew?
All right, Chris Clark, thank you very much. The Armwood Hawks and Booker T. Washington will continue to update you throughout the second half. Here it's 13-7. When we come back, a Toyota Sports Connection update, plus later, an interview with Sun Bowl representatives. Stay tuned. It's a halftime show on Catch 47, the 5A state semifinals.
And we are back at halftime. Largo 13, St. Thomas Aquinas 7. It has been a great half, and we want to say a big thank you to Mugs and Jugs. Michael Nielsen, the manager of the Clearwater branch of Mugs and Jugs, for giving us food for the whole staff here at Catch 47. A big thank you to Michael Nielsen and Mugs and Jugs. And back to the highlights from the first half. Big plays were the name of the game. Bryn Harvey was the man, over 130 yards rushing in the first half. The big play coming up right there was Sean Holt, and they punch it in with Bryn Harvey going in, standing up, making it 6-0. They missed the extra point, and then Bryn Harvey adding another big play, and the Largo Packers continue to pound the football in the first half and run the clock as best they could. There's Sean Holt again, and Bryn Harvey breaking through for the untouched touchdown to make it 13-0, and he had a big smile for the camera after that run. But St. Thomas Aquinas with the big runs coming from number 26, Giovanni Bernard, on a regular basis. The touchdown, or this got the ball down to the 1-yard line as their big-time running back Jeremiah Harden takes it down to the 1, and then a misdirection play to Ronnie Kennedy gets them their 7 points. They threatened right before halftime, but not able to get the ball in the end zone. 13-7 is our score, and you see the rushing yards, almost all of those coming with Bryn Harvey, but Leonard Johnson and Sean Holt also adding a few of those yards. Really nothing going through the air for either football team. The total yards, 1 turnover for the Packers, and penalties about even at this point, as well it should be. It has been an evenly played football game. We're going to come right back after this break for your second half.
Back at Largo High School, Drew Felios in the booth with Jeff Carlson and Roxanne Wilder down on the field. Largo leads St. Thomas Aquinas by a score of 13-7, and it was nice to visit with a couple Sun Bowl representatives. And Jeff, you actually played in that stadium?
In my junior year, we played Texas El Paso, and they were talking about how it's cut out of the rock. And for people from Tampa or from Florida that all we see is flat ground, it is just a really cool stadium. I still have a scar on my arm from sliding on that AstroTurf, and so I'll remember it forever. But it was a great experience, and they mentioned Juarez, Mexico. It is right there to go in and have a great time on both sides of the border.
Well, so far, St. Thomas and Largo in a battle. The Packers leading by 6. And the last time St. Thomas Aquinas came to Pinellas County, ironically, they were facing a running football team. A team that wears red. A team by the name of Northeast High School. Good old Jerry Austin coaching, as St. Thomas looked a little bit different back then. But it was the Vikings with their quarterback, Doug Wechter.
Doug Wechter?
That's right.
That's a familiar name. Had a pretty good fastball, I guess, too.
But it was Aquinas who went on to win that game and advance in the playoffs. And that's just one of the epic battles that this school has had. When you look at what Coach George Smith has done. 3 state titles just in the 1990s. 1992, 97, and 99. But catch 47 right there every step of the way. Roxanne Wilder's down on the field. Roxanne, you had a chance to at halftime. What did he say?
I did. I caught up with him when he was walking back out on the field, and basically I said, what does your team need to do to kind of turn things around? He said, our defense needs to play better. We need to not go 3 and out. And I asked him also, how is this team when it comes to coming from behind? And he said, you know, we had that close game in Deerfield that we ended up losing. They've had some close ones that they've won, but he just said, we'll see what happens. Guys.
All right, Roxanne Wilder, thank you very much. And we mentioned Chris Carter, also an assistant on this staff, and David Shula. Jeff Carlson, you also had a chance to talk to him at halftime, the former coach of the Cincinnati Bengals.
I stuck my head out of this room we're in, and I see Dave Shula. And he actually, I first met him when I was still in college trying to make it into the pros at the NFL Combine. He was running the quarterback portion of evaluating the quarterbacks, and he is now running, you know, Shula's Steakhouse, and he has had 3 sons go through the St. Thomas Aquinas program.
Who are we going to run into next? Bill Parcells?
It's possible.
The stars come out every time this Aquinas team lines up and plays. As far as Largo's concerned, nowhere near as stylish as the Raiders on the other side, but so far they have been effective. Running the football, creating lanes for Bryn Harvey, and there's also been the unsung heroes, guys like Sean Holt that have stepped up and elevated their game. Mike Mary also with a solid first half. But the big question going into this second half is the captain's huddle is, can the depth of Largo last this entire football game? They've got 24 minutes to stand toe-to-toe with this Raiders team as St. Thomas will get the football to start the second half. Bryn Harvey leading Jeff Brinson. And rushing touchdowns for Pinellas County. Brinson had a phenomenal year. Darius Bellamy also over at Dunedin, who's going to be a senior next year. And man, he is going to be a force for the Falcons.
This is a big drive right here for Largo. They've had such big holes on the running game from St. Thomas Aquinas that's all I would do right now is just run the running game. They've been in 2-back sets most of the time, but Largo's going to have to stand up. Hopefully, Aquinas will make a couple mistakes and allow them to get them to go 3 and out, or at least stop them and make a punt.
And Leonard Johnson has been very effective. Every time he's rolled out, he's either picked up yardage or he's found his receivers, Reggie McCray and Mario Gaucher.
And you say rollout, that's been scrambles.
Yes.
A lot of that is scrambling out on the rollout and been able to make the plays. You're right. He had a couple of big, great throws to the sideline that were able to keep drives alive.
Lewis Mariquin has had some short kicks so far, and I believe the strategy behind that is because they do not want Philip Pierre-Louis to get a hold of the football. We saw Pierre-Louis on a punt return, what he was capable of doing.
Touched the ball one time, and he was so dangerous.
This one to the 25. Raiders get a few good blocks. And Connor O'Neill has it up to the 42-yard line. Again, good field position for the Raiders. As head coach George Smith, 17 consecutive playoff appearances dating back to 1991 for St. Thomas Aquinas. That is amazing when you talk about the role. I mean, 17 straight playoff appearances. Wow.
This front four, Drew, of Largo is really going to have a big second half. Hans Lytle, Travis Feldman, Del Judas, and Kelly are really going to have to get some pressure inside on the passing plays like this. Wide open.
Fake by Becker. Wide open to his receiver. First play of the second half is a touchdown for the Raiders. Breaking free from everybody was Philip Pierre-Louis, the guy we saw on special teams. And once he caught it, it was good night.
Well, that's the kind of play that Coach Rodriguez really wanted to get on their own offenses. Pop the big play over the top after running the ball so well. You can see some excitement there on the sideline, and well-deserved, because this is a big play. Talking about trying to get pressure on that quarterback before he can get rid of it. Pierre is way out in front. Easy touchdown. And with this extra point, we'll take the lead.
There it is. Kicking it through, Michael Pilardi. And St. Thomas Aquinas has their first lead of the night, 14-13. This guy is so dangerous every time he touches the football.
Big play call, Drew, on first down coming out of the chute. Talk about plenty of confidence. Becker's got plenty of confidence, and so does every player on that football team. Great play fake, and that's what is so dangerous about the offense. They opened up with that play fake coming back the opposite direction. This time they fake it to him, throw deep over the top. And you have to commit football players to stop that run because they're so dangerous with all those guys. 7, 5, all the different ones. And then number 2 going all the way down the football field for the touchdown.
This is the final night of football here on Catch 47. Our next game of the week, next Thursday, December 13th, we're in Polk County where Lakeland meets Kathleen. 2 arch rivals from Polk County meet on the basketball floor next Thursday, December 13th, live right here on Catch 47. Last week against Cape Coral in the second half, Largo struggled. I know we're just a couple plays in, but let's see if the Packers have the same energy that they came out with. Bryn Harvey back to receive. Fielded at the 5, and here's Harvey. Ball's loose, and the Raiders appear to have it. Who's got it? The Packers hang on. Boy, it looked like St. Thomas jumped on that football. An amazing turn of events.
And it looked like he had jumped through there to go the distance, and it gets behind him, and I really did think that the Raiders got their first shot at it. But the Packers hold on, and now this is the most important drive of the game.
Arsenio Scott jumped on it just in time as Bryn Harvey had someone poke it right out of his hands, and he's a sure-handed guy every time he's got it. One of the few times you'll see him put the ball on the floor. Here's Harvey. St. Thomas defense going to try and stack that box.
Well, Drew, and I tell you what, this is the worst thing that Largo could do at this point in the game. And again, just an opinion, but they've done such a good job at diversifying by going with 2 and 3 wide receivers and making St. Thomas Aquinas defend more of the football field. When they pack up into this kind of a thing on 1st and 10, all 11 defenders can be right there with them. I don't like it. We'll see how it turns out.
Second down. Smash mouth football. The Packers content to just go straight ahead. And it's going to bring up a key 3rd down and 5.
Drew, this is what they did. We mentioned the game last year, playoff game last year against Countryside on this football field. This is the formation that they ran almost exclusively. But I really liked what they did in the first half to continue to control the ball. Now you're going to get 3rd and 5 and a position where St. Thomas Aquinas would have the advantage.
Down on the field right now for the Packers, it's number 66, Cormaine Howard. So Howard plays both ways on the offense and defensive line.
And cramping up. And you talked about endurance, Drew. When teams don't have as many players, they have to have more guys go both ways, and then that's when the cramping does happen.
So Cormaine Howard will limp off. Only 5'10", but goes 320 pounds. So he's a load up front. Third down. Johnson out of the shotgun, on the run again. He'll just have to get rid of it. And is it picked off?
Didn't give it to him. Out of bounds on the interception, but this was the dangerous play that they had gotten away with in the first half, and he wasn't going to be denied again. Rodney Gillis almost made the interception in the first half. This time comes up with it. They do call him out of bounds. See that first step? Actually, that's an interception, but they'll get a chance to punt this ball away. Drew, I think he got both feet down inside. He only needs one. He got both down to make that interception.
So momentum now on the Raiders' side, as Largo will kick it away. Keep an eye on number 2, Pierre Louis. He's got it. Gets it past the 40, and he's clotheslined at the 42.
Drew, I told you I did not like that offensive set for the Packers.
Our version of the Goodyear blimp right there. Sky Spot Advertising, responsible for the Bright House Network's blimp. Let's just call it that. Making its rounds here in Pinellas County, looking down on a spectacle right now. What a sight it has been here tonight. Perfect weather at Packer Stadium and an atmosphere unlike any we've ever seen. Ryan Becker will hand it off and a couple yards on first down.
We'll see if they can hold up here. Obviously, that first play coming out of the second half was a long touchdown pass over the top, but really where Largo struggled is stopping that running game out of the multi-option look out of shotgun. It's what everybody's running these days. This is the new great offense, and it really is tough to stop because you come from so many angles. You have your quarterback that can run the football. You get all the blockers up front, and you just have to defend so many different areas of attack that is very difficult on the defense. We'll see if Largo can hold up.
Second down and 8. Becker's been throwing it a lot, and he gets it to Pierre-Louis. Missed tackle, and Philip Pierre-Louis gets inside the 40-yard line, other side of the field, a first down for Aquinas.
Just a quick, easy throw for the quarterback. This is what you want to do, just get the ball into your speedster's hands, and he is so slippery as well. Besides having that straight ahead speed, he has got the slipperiness of a great return man.
Numbers on Pierre-Louis. 36 yards every time he touches it, ain't bad. Movement up front, and a flag comes down as they give it to Harden, but will blow the play dead.
Just a little illegal procedure in the backfield. But this is the kind of mistakes that Largo has to take advantage of when they get in the longer yardage situations.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, previous spot, remains first down.
So first down and 15. Bernard is on the sidelines for the Raiders. Here's Becker with renewed confidence, hands it off to Harden, and Jeremiah Harden with huge holes all the way down to the 25-yard line. The ball comes out, and I believe Aquinas recovered.
I think you're right, Drew.
So a golden opportunity for Largo to get it back.
Watch number 8, Sean Holt, missed this tackle. He has to make that tackle in the backfield. Coach Rodriguez made that obvious that they have to make those open field tackles and take advantage, because once they get into the open field, they are just too dangerous. The speed is just all over the field, and you've got to make those one-on-one tackles to be successful on the night.
Jeremiah Harden running well so far in the second half. They'll give it to him again. No gain. Maybe even lost a yard. As right there to cut him down was Justin Shaw, the junior linebacker.
Justin Shaw did a good job just basically cutting off the contain. He did a good job with the contain, making Harden stay inside of it, and he ended up losing his footing.
Packer Stadium's been quiet so far in the second half. Now the crowd's starting to get into it. Largo needs a stand here. As the Raiders want to talk it over, St. Thomas will call a timeout with 8:02 to go in the third quarter. It's postseason time on Catch 47, and when you get into the months of November and December, no team has been more successful than St. Thomas Aquinas. Look at how they stack up amongst the state powers. 16 wins since 2003. At the very top of that mountain, Armwood. The Hawks in a battle tonight with Booker T. Washington. We'll give you an update on that game as soon as we get one from South Florida. Can you believe that Armwood is ahead of Lakeland on that graphic even? I mean, that shows you how outstanding Sean Callahan's program has become.
Well, we go on and on about schools like Aquinas, and we've got one in our own backyard at Armwood. Coach Callahan has done just such a phenomenal job keeping that program at the top level year after year.
It is a who's who here tonight at Packer Stadium. Also saying hello to us up here in the booth, Daryl Holman, former high school scoreboard reporter. Eddie Bacher as well, former director. Can't forget about Ed, now working for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Great to see both of you guys back here, still part of the family. The slant is complete. And close to a touchdown is Deron Carter. He's got it. Touchdown, St. Thomas Aquinas.
Take a look, the call comes late on the touchdown. He loses control of the football as he's going down, as he stretches himself out. I thought maybe his knee was down before he got to the end zone, but he loses control of the football and then recovers it in the end zone. They give him the touchdown. Watch him stretch out for it. His knee is down. That's not a touchdown. That ball should be on the 1 yard line. It's not going to be reviewed, obviously, in high school football, but he was certainly down before he ever made it to the end zone.
So Deron Carter, the son of Chris Carter, legendary NFL receiver, gets on the scoreboard.
I thought he was down, maybe.
And it's 20-13 right now. The Raiders have opened up a 7-point lead.
I thought he was down like right here.
And a very confident Ryan Becker. Jeff, he has looked so much better in the second half than he did in the first frame.
Yeah, you know, I was watching him warm up, and he could throw some really pretty balls, and then all of a sudden he wouldn't put any air under it, and it wouldn't be such a good one. But certainly a quality high school football quarterback.
And right now, Largo again tending to cramps inside the 5 yard line. Perhaps it's one of those players that goes both ways for the Packers. Let's take one more look. Hopefully it is just a cramp.
Basically faking that inside run and then throwing a slant or a short post route. And he extends it, and again, he fumbles the ball. Well, he gets his knee down at the 3 yard line even, and sticks it over, and the referee gives him a touchdown.
So Ryan Becker leading Aquinas to 2 second half touchdowns. Originally, Mike Matthews was the starting quarterback for St. Thomas. Then he moved to New York. Becker became the guy, and he hasn't looked back ever since. Still, yeah, medical staff tending to that Largo player inside the 5.
Yeah, taking quite a while, and something that is obviously cramping in having the players like Leonard Johnson as part of trying to help get him back on his feet. But these Largo Packers have got to get themselves back to what they were doing right, Drew, what they were doing right in the first half. And I mentioned it as soon as they came into that formation, which is really a goal line formation. It's a power running formation, but they are not going to be successful against this football team running first and 10 in that situation. They're going to spread it out. They've got to get some more holes open for Bryn Harvey, Sean Holt, and the rest. But they're going to have to come out of that and go back to what they were doing well in the first half.
So Packer Stadium right now quiet. And we're still trying to figure out who that exactly is inside the 5 yard line. Let's take a break, and we'll come back here to Largo High School. 20-13, the Raiders lead. Well, bad news for the Packers. The player who was cramping up down there was Reggie McCray, number 19, as they just carried him off the field. And there you get a look at Reggie. Medical staff treating him as we speak. Extra point. Up and good. So an 8-point lead for St. Thomas Aquinas. And right now, let's check in down in Miami as the Armwood Hawks taking on Booker T. Washington. Just moments ago, Booker T with a big play. Torrance Moyes to Brandon Harris, 65 yards. And then it was Booker T getting the touchdown run, Eduardo Clements scoring, and right now 21-7. Booker T Washington leading Armwood. We'll keep you updated on that contest from South Florida. And while there's a break in the action here, another player is down on the field. Roxanne Wilder is down on the sidelines with the former Largo High School star. Roxanne?
Yes, I'm with Dexter McCluster, former Largo star football player. You were all over the field when you were here. Now you're at Ole Miss. Tell me your impressions of college so far.
You know, college is great. You know, just being around players. I love the game of football. It's real great. And just to play football itself, you know, it's a wonderful thing.
And you're wide receiver there now, right?
Oh yeah, I transitioned from a running back to a wide receiver, and I really like the position right now.
Tell me about Houston Nutt. He's your brand new coach. Have you gotten to meet him yet?
Yes, actually he talked to the whole team. You know, he talked to us a little bit, and I think the whole team likes him overall. You know, it's a new experience for me. You know, it's my first coaching change, but you know, it's going to be a change. It's going to be for the best.
Now I know Leonard Johnson's your boy out here. You're trying to do a little recruiting, bring him up to Ole Miss with you?
Yeah, you know, he's a playmaker, man. Defense, offense, whatever he needs him, just like I was in high school. You know, I'm trying to get him up there. 2 Largo boys in the same area could be real dangerous.
Well, Dexter, thank you so much. Now, Drew and I know about your other talent, you're singing. If we had more time, we'd let him sing down here on the field with us, but back up to you guys. Thank you.
Right, Roxanne. Dexter McCluster, one of our favorite players ever that we have covered in high school football on the high school scoreboard. And I will never forget when he sang us a song on the scoreboard about 2 years ago. Would you like me to sing you what he sang right now, Jeff Carlson?
Well, I'd like to stay up here and watch a football game, but
we'll let that wait till after the game.
Largo Idol. That's not what we're in for right now.
Michael Polardi to kick it off. Right now the Packers are limping, and momentum is clearly shifted in this game. And they'll pick it up at the 27-yard line and take it to the 25. The Raiders push him back. Every Tuesday at 6, 8, and 10 o'clock, join Tom Buring and Mark Robinson on Catch 47's Extra Point. We've got football covered from the professional to the college ranks. This Tuesday, Buck speedster Joey Galloway joins us. He's in studio, a guy who just keeps on getting better with age. Actually, Galloway will be on location at his brand new smoothie store, so you don't want to miss that. This Tuesday at 6 o'clock on the Extra Point.
Galloway and Chris Carter may have crossed paths. He's so old now at The Ohio State University.
So here is Leonard Johnson. Bryn Harvey trying to get it going for the Packers. A first down run. And Harvey now looks like he's slow to get up.
And maybe that is a cramp as well, as he sticks his leg straight back out. That actually does look like a cramp again. But this is what they needed to get back to. Spreading it out, letting Bryn Harvey try to find some creases through. But it either looks like his hamstring cramped up or his calf. He's trying to stretch out his calf. See him come through and watch the left calf cramp up and get stiff on him. When he first rolled over, I had thought he hurt his shoulder, which was really scary, but he toughs it out back. Now this is so reminiscent of that playoff game we keep talking about. He had 51 carries, 250 yards on the ground, but he was limping around even in the first half after 28 or 29 carries, but he stays in the football game. He's unbelievable.
Leonard Johnson will try his hand. Johnson stumbling forward. A 5-yard gain, and once again checking in with Armwood and Booker T Washington down in Miami. Moyes has been outstanding at quarterback for Booker T. Here he finds Brendan Harris, and Washington right now in control, 28-7 on the Armwood Hawks. And who would have ever thought that devastating Armwood defense would give up 4 touchdowns and only score 1 on their side. Armwood now on the ropes.
Their offense must be really struggling to get the ball rolling.
Johnson will have to do it himself. Ball comes loose, and St. Thomas Aquinas says they have it. Who's got it? Raiders football.
They gave it to him. He was turned on his back, and I don't know if he got to his back or not before the ball came out, but they have given it to Aquinas. We'll see it on the replay. Watch him get turned and spun around backwards as he's going down. Let's see when the ball comes out.
Looked like the knee may have been down.
Tough call from that position. I think I would have, if I was a referee from that backside and saw the ball coming out, probably would have called it a fumble as well.
So on the field once again is the Largo defense.
Nobody covering their outside receiver. Here comes number 6 off the sideline.
Late into the game, Jason Wine. A fumble on the other side. Who's got it? And the Raiders able to fall on it. Unbelievable, as Sean Holt had a golden opportunity to just keep him away from the football.
I don't think he knew that the football was on the ground. When we see this again, watch Sean Holt. He's up high on the running back. Watch him up there, chest to chest. Oh, actually, he should have seen that coming out because he never did get the football, but it goes right back into his hands.
Well, it's a huge loss for the Raiders. Call it a loss of 13. So it'll be 2nd and 23.
Well, this is, you know, early in the first half, Aquinas made 2 or 3 mistakes that could have been good offensive plays, didn't get it. This is the kind of mistake that the Largo Packers have to take advantage of to get right back into this thing.
Here's Becker. He's been impressive in the second half. He fires and it's complete to the 44-yard line. First catch of the game for Dwayne Difton. And a flag comes down late.
The Largo coaches are up here talking about it going against Aquinas. We'll see. Coach, an extra push after the tackle on the sideline.
Coach Rodriguez is pointing the other way also. He needs this call.
Guys in blue keep pushing it back. And I think, Drew, on this time, I think you do need to push the ball back and take, well, it'd be a dead ball foul. It'd be automatic. You won't have a choice in this particular situation.
Here's the call.
Dead ball, personal foul, offense, 15 yards from the end of the run, down is 3rd.
Aquinas knew it was against them. They already had their huddle set back 25 yards from where the referees had the ball set.
George Smith can't believe it.
Drew, because it was a dead ball foul, it is 3rd down.
3rd down and a mile. Becker fakes and hits that big target. It's number 88, Gaberson Holmes. He's going to be way short of the first down. Still about 20 yards shy.
Yeah, but he is going to be an amazing target next year. He's a junior now. He just runs really, really well and can stick his hands up and catch with his hands. That guy is going to be a superstar.
So Largo will get the ball back. Mario Gaucher back to receive this punt. Benjamin Turk will kick it away.
Really right now, they got to protect the football. A great return would be fantastic, but they just have to protect this football. It's been put on the ground twice. Bryn Harvey was able to get that one back. Leonard Johnson gave it up, so they've got to get this ball.
Nice kick as Marcel Durham now switches directions. He's got some blockers in front. Marcel Durham gets to midfield and hold it. There's a flag back at the 20-yard line.
Oh, the wall was set so perfectly, Drew. It was just beautiful from our vantage point to see that wall, but they got a bad block in the back, and it's going to come all the way back. Durham went backwards. You never like your returners to go backwards, but he had to do it to get to the wall. And they have it set up beautifully. They did not need that block. He could have gotten around it and lose all that momentum, but they get this thing going again. Still plenty of time left here in the 3rd quarter.
Referees discussing, I believe they're trying to figure out where exactly the block happened. So this will be 10 yards from the spot of the foul, it appears.
Referees try to throw a beanie bag down.
2 fouls, blocking the back on the return. That penalty's declined. Blocking below the waist. Here, half the distance, 1st down.
So it's a huge play for the Raiders because they were all the way back a couple downs ago to their own 30. Now Largo with bad field position starting at their own 10-yard line. And the question now, is that guy 100%? They'll figure out and see. Bryn Harvey near the 20.
So
again,
dangerous.
It looked like he was a move away from breaking loose.
Just about. Now, he doesn't have the shake and bake. He runs downhill and keeps running, and he's going to continue to deal with the cramps. You can see Leonard Johnson trying to help his buddy out, get him going. He is so tough, but he doesn't have the shake and bake, so he is going to try to run that guy over. That last defender, if he's in his way, he's going to run him over. But sometimes he can just outrun that guy, too.
Harvey clearly limping now. Looks like he's about to carry away from needing to come out of this game. They go to Holt. And in the middle, Aquinas right there to meet him. Number 20 made a good play on the football. Brian Robinson came up from his defensive back spot.
Like the call, though, try to get it out of Harvey's hands, give him a little bit of a break, a little blow, because they have had success with that inside trap game going away from him.
Brings up a 2nd and 7. Not nearly as many weapons on this Largo team as there is for St. Thomas Aquinas. That is the big difference between these two football teams. Leonard Johnson will try. Johnson trying to shake tacklers and can't get away at the 20-yard line. A late flag comes down, though, as the Raiders starting to lose their cool just a little bit.
I'm not sure what Gaucher was doing. I don't know if he got pushed or if he was the one doing the pushing. He got hurt, obviously, on his ankle. Let's see Leonard Johnson trying to string it out. Aquinas does a good job of stringing it out again. You see all those defenders outside on the receivers. The offsetting fouls, I believe, Drew.
We will get offsetting penalties. But the thing now for Largo, Jeff, everybody is limping. Gaucher came up lame on that last play. Reggie McCray had to come out of the game with cramps. Bryn Harvey looks like he's one play away from having to come out. I mean, if you're Largo High School right now, the only healthy player out there is your quarterback, Leonard Johnson.
Well, they just have to tough it out. That's the way it is. They've been in this situation before, and you know when it's even more humid than it is tonight. And this is do or die. This is the state finals. I mean, state semifinals.
Bryn Harvey lines up as a wide receiver. Holt is right next to Johnson. Leonard Johnson will scramble and get it up near the 25-yard line. Several storylines on this Largo team. One of them, Hans Lytle, the big defensive end. Roxanne Wilder down on the field with more.
Well, I'm sure you guys noticed in his picture, he had his picture taken with his helmet on. He says he doesn't ever like to take off his helmet. He said he would wear it off the field if he could. When I asked him why, he said it's football, he loves it, and he just loves to wear his helmet. I said, have you been doing that since Pee Wee football? He said, no, I didn't play Pee Wee football. I didn't start playing until I was in 10th grade. So maybe it's a little bit of a new thing for him, and that's why he doesn't like to take it off. But Drew, you and I sit next to each other, where if we have our little idiosyncrasies, you can't blame the guy for having his little thing, right?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. Oh, as it takes a St. Thomas bounce, and Largo will field it at the 44-yard line. Was wondering why Lytle still had his helmet on as we announced the starting lineups, and that was why right there, Roxanne explained. District standings for the Packers. The Largo team in the same district with Gibbs, St. Pete, Pinellas Park, Dixie Hollins, and Seminole. A rough year for Seminole. Did not win a game. Sam Roper's club. An uncharacteristic year, but the rise of Gibbs, I think, a storyline to look forward to in years to come. Another ball on the ground, and jumping on it just in time was Ryan Becker.
And Drew, we've been talking about a who's who here tonight. I ran into Gibbs head coach Shakur before the game. He brought his sophomore players out tonight to be part of this atmosphere. You see the fumble, he gets back on it. Very heads-up play by Becker. But just to get, Gibbs really made a resurgence, had a great year this year, and he brought out his young sophomore players so that they could get used to this as they start to build up that program in St. Petersburg.
Yusuf Shakir, first season at Gibbs High School, coming down from Tallahassee. Also, Jaquez Green, offensive coordinator, did a remarkable job turning that program around. A 6-5 record on the season. Becker, a lot of room to run. He'll step up, and a good job by the Largo defense coming up and forcing him out at the 45.
Coach Shakir had made mention to me because he played against this Aquinas team when he was in Tallahassee. He said that the only teams that Coach Smith has ever lost to are option-style teams in the state finals. The only teams they've ever lost to are the option-style teams. Largo is that straight-ahead power running game, and right now they own an 8-point lead.
Third down and 9. Becker hands it off. And here come the Raiders off the edge. A good tackle made by Devin Mason.
The NFL outlawed these types of horse collar tackles, but this is high school football and they do not have that rule. And thank goodness for that for the Largo Packers, because Devin Mason, that was the only way he was going to bring down Pierre St. Louis, or Pierre Louis, right? There we go. And does a great job to make it fourth down and get the ball back for the Largo offense.
They may need Mason on offense here pretty shortly. As Pierre Louis was unable to break free.
Something else that Largo's doing on offense that I'm not sure of, they keep splitting Bryn Harvey out, and he was in that last play that they ran on offense, he split out as a wide receiver, but there's no value to their offense for that.
Ball into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback for the Packers. 27 seconds left to go in this third quarter, one that has been dominated by Aquinas. They came out of the locker room with a different kind of energy, scoring on their very first play from scrimmage. Every Tuesday at 6:30, 8:30, and 10:30, join us for the Press Box right here on Catch 47. Tom Jones of the St. Pete Times has a roundtable with Bay Area sports journalists. As this Tuesday, Angela Jacobs from Channel 10 WTSP joins the roundtable. Many topics for discussion. Luke McGowan's shining performance. Jeff Garcia taking the helm this week. The Bucks and Texans wrap. So much to talk about on Press Box every week with Tom Jones. As Harvey takes a shot, and it's a loss of 3 yards on first down.
Wow, you're not kidding. Christian Thompson, the guy that we chronicled in the before the game, comes in with a big hit. Bryn Harvey does a great job to reach out and bring this ball down. It's a high pitch. See him stick his hands out, and then untouched is Thompson making the stick.
Well, you see how Leonard Johnson becomes the lead blocker every time he makes that pitch, sometimes causes that pitch to be a little high. We've played 3 quarters at Packers Stadium, 21-13. Aquinas leads. Back with more Catch 47 Game of the Week after this. Beginning of the fourth quarter means time for our trivia question on the Game of the Week. True, false this week. Lakeland, the only Bay Area team that St. Thomas Aquinas has lost to in the postseason. Is that true or false? We'll give you the answer in just a few minutes. 3 straight times down in Miami, Lakeland, the Dreadnoughts beat the Raiders.
I think I know the answer, Drew.
We'll find out in just a few minutes, Jeff. As the Packers now with a 2nd down and 13. Leonard Johnson trying to pick up yardage. Not going to be much as he gets to the 18-yard line. He's going to bring up a 3rd down and 12 yards for this Packer offense.
Well, it was a new look to start the fourth quarter for them. 2 running backs in the backfield out of the shotgun, and they ran the option to the right. Leonard Johnson just chooses to keep it, not picking up much. So this is a big 3rd down. This offense not really built to pick up 3rd and 11, but they certainly have plays in the playbook that can do it.
Well, Reggie McCray, we talked about a lot in the first half. He has not been able to get into this game, of course, on the sidelines with cramps, and not in the game right now. So who will be the option for the Packers? Leonard Johnson tries to do it himself, and it's not going to happen. Good pursuit on defense by Michael Pilardi. And it's going to bring up a Largo 4th down.
Again, they spread Bryn Harvey out as a single receiver to the right side, but the way his legs are right now, he's no threat whatsoever, so the ball needed to come out to the left side. Leonard really never got his eyes up and over here as he gets the pressure, and just too much quickness from St. Thomas.
So in comes the punting unit, and the dangerous guy, Philip Pierre-Louis, hoping to get another opportunity as Largo will just kick it away from him. Takes a Packer bounce and keeps on rolling. The 46-yard line, they'll call the line of scrimmage. George Smith, 31 seasons at St. Thomas Aquinas. He is kind of parallel with Bill Castle over at Lakeland when you look at the two careers and the longevity between the coaches. 1974 became head coach. Did not coach for 2 years in 93 and 94. Became athletic director in 82. And the FHSAA Hall of Fame inducted him in 2003. He has done it all and seen it all for St. Thomas Aquinas. Tonight, a big-time numbers advantage over Largo. Possibly a double pass setup. And loose, here's Deron Carter. Carter, still on his feet, will be tackled at the 39.
And all
flags come down.
Yeah, all of that is coming back for a bad block in the back. And it's because it's spotted the foul, Drew, this should go all the way back to the 30-yard line or right near the 30-yard line based on how deep. That was going to be a wide receiver pass. They pitched it back, and it was easy to see. Largo saw it very early, and that's what caused the whole disruption, and the block in the back caused there. So it should come all the way back to about the 30-yard line and make it first and what it looks like about 30 yards it should be.
Legal block in the back. Offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
Drew, I'm getting messed up on spot of the foul. If we run that play again, I'll show you where the block in the back is and see where it is to see where a 10-yard penalty should have been from. I don't think it was where they spotted it.
Here's Jeremiah Harden. Along the left side, not much. Got to get all the way to the 36-yard line on the other side. So at least 25 yards away for this Raiders team. Crowd trying to get this Packers team going. The hard time is when the healthy players just have not been able to stay on the field. Cramping in the second half, right out of the locker room. And Jeff, they occurred in the first few plays right out of the locker room. That's what's so surprising. Kind of makes you wonder, were they ingesting fluids at halftime properly?
Well, you have to do it in the first half. You can't wait to halftime. Your body can't take care of that fluid that fast to get into your muscles. So you've really got to take care of it before you ever start a game, and then continue to stay hydrated. And all the athletic trainers will tell you, you've got to keep it going. You can't wait till you get there, because then it's too late.
Dwayne Difton on the catch, and it's a third down and a manageable play for this Raiders offense. Largo defense has been on the field a long time in the second half. Coach Rodriguez hoping for a stop. 8:35 now left to go. 3 wide receivers in the game. They'll hand it off, and Bernard's going to get just past midfield, well short of a first down. So another punting situation for the Raiders.
And that's Bryn Harvey, the man. Is he going to be able to get going? He does. He normally toughs it out. Just getting that treatment, and then he'll pop up and kind of limp out, gingerly go out there, but then he becomes a superstar, Superman, when he gets out there.
I've never seen so many players, though, cramp up within a 2-minute time span. There's Marcel Durham trying to shake tacklers, and Marcel gets it to the 5-yard line. We want to thank Mugs and Jugs, one of Catch 47's favorite places to take a lunch break on Missouri Avenue, 1250 in Clearwater. All your tailgating needs, 446-0797. Mugs and Jugs in Clearwater.
That was a mistake, Drew, fielding that football at the 2-yard line. Just let it go into the end zone and try to get it out to the 20. They start this drive at the 6-yard line with just over 7.5 minutes to go in the rest of the football game.
So Personnel right now for Largo. We see Mario Gaucher in the football game. Bryn Harvey is also in the game, lined up right next to Leonard Johnson as a flag comes down. And as soon as we can, we'll take you down to South Florida for another update. Armwood and Booker T. Washington. Last time we checked in, Booker T. Washington leading 28-7.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Moving forward without the clock running is the perfect situation.
They've put up a heck of an effort so far, but do they have enough for the stretch run? Here's Bryn Harvey to the 16-yard line.
Should be a first down and get the clock to stop at least for the move the chains.
I've not seen the carry count, Jeff. What do you think it is so far for Harvey? Is he around 25 carries?
Well, more than that. He had 20. He was 20 for 136. I saw one of our stats. Now he's got 27 carries for the night.
So 27 for Bryn Harvey. Remember, we saw him carry it 51 times last year in the playoffs. 168 yards on the ground for Bryn Harvey.
If I remember correctly, he had more than 27 carries in the first half of that game, and he was cramping in the first half.
Leonard Johnson. Not much creativity in this Largo offense throughout this entire second half.
Well, truly, Drew, they're banking on this being their one and only chance to come tie this football game up, and you see an 8-point differential. They've got to go down the field, they've got to score a touchdown and get the 2-point conversion just to tie and force this game into overtime, but that's the way it looks that they're going for this. They're not going to have a chance to get 2 possessions.
The key to this football game, many of the experts predicted, as well as myself, the numbers game. Could Largo play with St. Thomas Aquinas in the fourth quarter when both teams were tired and the game was possibly on the line? We're finding that out right now, as Largo used to playing teams in Pinellas County, which usually go 30 to 40 guys on the roster. Those teams that Largo is matched up with, they've pretty much dominated all season long. Eastlake, Palm Harbor, St. Pete, the first 3 victims. Dunedin in week 4 was a game for the ages. They met Dunedin again on November 23rd, and that one was not nearly as close. Cape Coral last week, a very good team, they dominated.
Threw up 5 shutouts on the season is incredibly impressive. Just really dominating on a regular basis.
Coach Rodriguez hoping for one final drive from this Largo team, and then possibly an overtime run. No matter what, this Largo team can leave here tonight proud of the effort. They have given it everything.
No doubt about that.
2nd down and 8. Movement early. And it looks like the Packers may have jumped first.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down. 5.
The Raiders looked like they were going to jump in on defense and go off sides, and they were just enough behind the neutral zone where the Packers just flinched just enough to get the penalty.
Well, Mike Mary checks into the game. Reggie McCray comes out of the game, so I think McCray tested those cramps, but now comes back to the sideline, figuring that he is not 100% to go.
Well, I think Mike Mary has some of the similar issues, but he is the guy that they bring in for their 3rd back in the backfield. Here's another interesting triple back option.
Johnson pulls it out, and he's under pressure. Leonard Johnson will just have to get rid of it, and it's incomplete.
Drew, I'm not sure if you saw that. He fumbled that football down onto the ground and was able to pick it back up and at least throw an incomplete pass.
So nothing looking smooth right now for the Packers.
And calling it a penalty. Didn't throw his flag, but he threw it way off on the sideline. Loss of down on that as well. And in this particular situation, Drew, there's nothing else he could do. He recovered that fumble, and there was nothing he could do but try to get rid of the football.
Leonard Johnson just hoping for one break, one play here with 6:25 to go.
Surprised that oh, I guess it's from the spot. Again, sometimes some of these rules are different in high school. They go from the spot, and it would have been half the distance, but because he was so far close to the goal line when that happened, it turns out they're putting it on the 2-yard line.
Shane Hood runs into the game, number 82. Mario Gaucher in there. Johnson will throw it downfield. He's got a man out there, but led him too far. Shane Hood was the guy he was looking for.
Well, and this has really been the nemesis for Largo tonight and even through the football season, but they've dominated so many football teams it hasn't really come up. Their punting game is lacking, and that's really where Coach Rodriguez is going to need to find a true punter. They're trying to use their athletes to kick the ball away, and they're just not getting anything out of it. They haven't been able to get more than a 15, 20-yard punt on the night.
So we have just received word Booker T. Washington has scored again. Right now it's 35-14 down in Miami. We'll show you what happened here as soon as that video becomes available. But Armwood having all sorts of problems down in South Florida, and it appears Booker's about to shake that Armwood monkey off their back and advance to the state championship game next week.
Not a situation Largo ever would want to be in. It's backed up like this, but Pierre-Louis in the middle of the football field as Leonard Johnson tries to kick away from him.
So Johnson just boots it onto the track. And when we come back, St. Thomas will have the ball in tremendous field position. 6:03 to go, back after this at the 5A state semifinal. Our trivia question tonight, we asked a few minutes ago, Lakeland, the only Bay Area team that St. Thomas Aquinas has lost to in the postseason, is that true or false? Jeff Carlson says it's false. But the answer is true. The Raiders 1-5 versus Lakeland, but 9-0 versus other Bay Area teams.
Bay Area teams, that was the key to that question, wasn't it?
Was that a trick question?
Yes.
Manatee, Southeast, and Northeast have also felt the wrath of the Raiders in the past. Here's Jeremiah Harden running hard against a tired Largo defense. And he gets it to the 15-yard line.
When we opened the show, we talked about Harden and the numbers that he's put up, almost 10 yards a carry throughout the football season, 16 touchdowns. But because they have so many weapons, they've only got one football to be able to give out on any particular play, and he really hasn't been the show tonight because they've been giving it to everybody else.
The Raiders are just going to keep on running the football. Harden, a touchdown in front, and he runs right through it. Touchdown, St. Thomas Aquinas.
In all honesty, Drew, I thought that they could have done that all night long if they would have just stuck to running the football. They've had wide open running lanes all night. You see the nice cut back there, and right now the Largo Packers on defense they're just sucking gas. It's just been, they've got too many guys going both ways to be able to hang on against these speed demons from down in south.
Michael Pilardi's extra point is good. And with 5:22 to go, St. Thomas Aquinas has extended to a 15-point lead. And here you see the difference between maybe the deepest team in the state in Broward County, a dynasty at St. Thomas Aquinas, and a team from Pinellas County with nowhere near the numbers, nowhere near the depth in Largo. In that first half, you saw that first string on first string. This Largo team can play with anybody. But the biggest questions going into this one was, if it were close in the end, could the Packers stay healthy, not cramp up, and be able to go toe-to-toe with St. Thomas Aquinas in the fourth quarter? Basically, this is like a championship fight. For Largo, they could only hope it wasn't going to go 15 rounds, and unfortunately it did.
Well, you're right about that, and that's what happens when you get to the finals, when you get down to the end. Who can really remain standing throughout? And Largo really has had so many dominating football games that they haven't been pushed to that ultimate limit for 4 quarters on a weekly basis. And you know, about half the guys that are on the football field right now are having cramping issues and are just struggling to hang in here. But these guys have been fighting it out and battling it out to the end.
Well, just call it our Bright House blimp from Sky Spot Advertising. There's the number, Sky Spot Advertising, with the aerial shots here throughout the playoffs. We want to thank Sky Spot Advertising for contributing to the Catch 47 Game of the Week. As it's taken up to the 25-yard line, Marcel Durham has been very active. As Largo trailing by 15. And let's check in with our other Bay Area team, Armwood High School in Miami, taking on Booker T. Washington. This just minutes ago, Rob Jones in at quarterback, hooking up with Eric Smith on the touchdown. That made the score 28-14, but Booker came right back. Clements, their running back, on the touchdown run, and there's your final score, 35-14. Booker T. Washington will advance to the state championship game in Orlando. We'll have more from Chris Clark coming up later at the conclusion of this contest.
Drew, on Largo's last drive, we talked about it looking like they were just playing to get a tie, one last possession. Now they're down by 2. They've got to basically break out all stops and throw the ball on every single down, because they have to have at least 2 possessions here. And Bryn Harvey is in the football game playing wide receiver, and he is not running routes. They have to bring in somebody else off the sideline that can at least run down the field and create some kind of play from the right side of the football field. Now Bryn Harvey comes to the left side, but he just doesn't have anything left in the tank to try to create plays down the football field.
So Johnson on a 2nd and 10. Again under pressure, and again unloads it. It's incomplete. We've talked about all the stars in attendance tonight. There's also one on the sideline for St. Thomas Aquinas. Roxanne Wilder has more. Roxanne?
And Drew, as Jeff mentioned earlier, he got to catch up with Chris Carter, talking a little football with him. I talked with Chris Carter about being on television. He's on Inside the NFL, and he says his schedule works out really well because he only has to tape with them 1 day a week on Wednesdays, and that day for St. Thomas Aquinas is predominantly a defensive day. He's, of course, the wide receivers coach, because he was a wide receiver in the NFL for St. Thomas Aquinas. Another highlight for him, he gets to coach his son, Deron. Guys?
So Chris Carter, former Ohio State Buckeye, with a big eye on the BCS here over the next month. The throw is high as Leonard Johnson was looking for Shane Hood, who was near midfield, but the passing game has just not been connecting here in the second half.
Yeah, it's kind of disjointed, and it really, I think it was a couple weeks ago where Leonard Johnson just had a breakout game as a quarterback and was doing everything. It might have been where he had that big-time touchdown run and dive into the end zone. But just tonight, it's been really him trying to make something happen off of a broken play. And they choose to go ahead and punt the ball away here, even though their best chances have been gone in the past here, Drew.
That key number there, Jeff, 2 of 11 throwing the football. Leonard Johnson needed that percentage to be better for Largo to have a chance tonight, but unfortunately in the second half, his key weapons weren't on the football field, and Mike Mary and Reggie McCray. The kicking situation tonight for the Packers has been an adventure. And there was another tail right there.
That turned into about an 11-yard punt, and they're trying to keep it away, but no matter who they put back there, whether it was Shane Hood or Johnson, they just haven't been able to kick the ball. They're actually kicking it with a backward spin on it. That doesn't happen very much when you punt the ball. So they just haven't, they've tried to punt away from a great punt returner, and that's the thing that we've been talking about, so many great players, and Pierre-Louis is one of those that they've been trying to keep the ball away and create a good field position for St. Thomas Aquinas for the majority of the game.
Wishbone set now for the Raiders, and they'll give it to Harden. He has looked very good running the football, especially in the second half. They'll get all the way to the 20 and have a Raiders first down. Our next game of the week on Catch 47 switches to the basketball court. We're in Polk County as we take another look at Hardin in the run. The game of the week, Lakeland taking on Kathleen. That Thursday, December 13th, live 7:30 right here on Catch 47. A key rivalry in high school sports. We'll see it on the hard court next week. Here's Hart, makes a nice move, but won't dodge the second defender. As a nice play made by Devin Mason. You know, this St. Thomas team, I mean, they wore out Lakeland last year in Miami. Lakeland was dominating them for 3 quarters, Jeff. And the Raiders in that 4th quarter took over the game, and the Dreadnoughts could not stop this St. Thomas Aquinas attack. So kudos to Largo, because St. Thomas Aquinas does this very often. They are a big-time second-half football team.
And when you go back to last year, you remember what Lakeland had on the football field from athletes. The athletes match to match up straight ahead, but they have the numbers too. Lakeland had the numbers to match up, so they shouldn't have been tired. But these guys just keep bringing it, and they've got so much speed that they are a classy football team, classy football organization.
After the play,
and they
dead
deserve
ball,
to win this football game.
personal foul, defense, half the distance, second down.
I am proud of the fight that the Largo Packers put up, but they just don't have the numbers yet. They are building up this program.
Fake to one running back, give to the other, and keeping his feet is Ronnie Kennedy. He's already scored 1 touchdown, and I believe there's a loose football.
I think they whistled him dead, but that was an impressive run to keep his feet after getting him taken out from underneath him.
Looked like Jason Wine had it, but they'll keep it on the Raiders' side. 1st and goal to go from the 1-yard line. If you're just joining us, right now you're watching the Raiders dominate this game. In the first half, Largo had this team on the ropes. Bryn Harvey was running it at will. The Packers defense was stuffing this St. Thomas attack, but in the second half, the first play of the 3rd quarter really set the stage for what would transpire throughout the next 24 minutes.
Yeah, it really was. It was business as usual for the Largo offense, just pounding that football. Bryn Harvey looked like he was going to break 4 or 5 different runs for long distances, and then, as you said, coming out of the first half into the second, that first big-time play, and easy touchdown, and then they just kept it going. Didn't make the big mistake like they had in the first half.
I'd also like to take this time in our final football game here on Catch 47 to say thank you and congratulations to our Catch 47 crew. Another fine season of football on the game of the week. And Jeff Carlson working with you again, just a pleasure. Roxanne Wilder on the field adding to our crew at mid-season. Director Chris McCulley, Ken O'Leary, on-site manager Demetrius Coromilius, on Chiron, Wes Crowell on camera down there. Wes, great job. As well as Randy Levine on the other side. Scott Lusby up top in the end zone high. And man, that is a tough place to be, all the way up there by yourself. Scott Lusby always up to the task. Brandy Sands up top running our camera. Her first season this year. Even though she's a University of Florida grad, we still love her. And Matthew Coombs also down on the field, bringing us the sights and sounds, the fans down there. And a look at Randy Levine, who I'll be traveling with down to Orlando tomorrow as Tampa Catholic takes on Madison County in the 2A state championship game. Ryan Becker on the run, and Becker appears to have a touchdown for the Raiders. Yes, he does. 6 points to make the score 34-13.
Score not really indicative of this football game. Yeah, I mean, it was just a couple minutes ago. It was 21-13, 1 score away, but it just got away from him here in the last few moments. Becker had guys waving at him. They wanted the ball, He decided to take it himself, and again, a second touchdown that really wasn't a touchdown. Could have been put down easily at the 1-yard line, but the referee's quite gracious to the guys falling down before the goal line, in my opinion.
And the kick is up and good. So 35-13. Left a few names out of that group in our crew. Bob Herman, a tremendous job in the truck. Tim Hoffman, usually on audio, one of our engineers. Adam Westrich, who's helping out tonight.
Look at that, he's down at the 2-yard line, and they give him another touchdown. Same thing with Duron Carter's earlier touchdown. Not to say that St. Thomas doesn't deserve to win this football game and could have punched it in, but go ahead, Drew.
Tony Tharp down there on the field, a tremendous job filling in for Adam Westrich, and Mike Cutolo, our director. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. A tremendous job by our entire crew once again. And what a football season it has been, Jeff Carlson, as Largo and Armwood get all the way to the state semifinals. Both teams will go down tonight. Tampa Catholic with Bob Enriquez playing for a state championship tomorrow. And it all lies in the hands now of the Crusaders. Can they beat Madison County to bring home the only state championship for the Bay Area?
I bet they will. I bet they will. Bob Enriquez has done such a fantastic job at Tampa Catholic, and you know, you just see the difference in where it was, and all of a sudden they're in a state championship only a couple years later. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, thanks for having me, Drew. It's been a great run again. Had a lot of fun, a lot of great football to watch and just to get excited about around here in the Tampa Bay area.
Now, we will not be doing any more games, but our Catch 47 Football Award Show is coming up in the coming weeks on the high school scoreboard. We will let you know day and time of that special award show in the weeks to come. And Jeff Carlson, we expect to have you in the studio for that show, as the plan right now for that show, Christmas Eve, a special Christmas treat on Catch 47. A look back at the season around the Bay Area with yourself and Justin Pulowski of WDAE, the sports animal, handing out the awards, the best ofs for this year from around the Bay Area.
Sounds good.
And I'm sure several players from Largo will be in contention when you talk about Brent Harvey and Leonard Johnson, the two superstars for this club. Harvey has done as much as he could do tonight, as well as Leonard Johnson. Not a good night throwing the ball, but keep in mind he has played defense and has had to run with those speedy Raiders receivers all night long. Flag down on the field.
We're going to start with a 1st and 15 for delay of game. Just slow getting into the huddle, slow coming out of the huddle. Or 12 men on the field for the defense.
Dead ball. Substitution infraction. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
One or the other,
down.
Drew.
St. Thomas Aquinas has outscored this Largo team 28-0 in the second half. That, of course, the story of the game, the second half dominance of the Raiders, and a good job by Coach George Smith sticking to the game plan, getting his team together at halftime. That's what it's for, and coming out in the third quarter.
Well, their front five, Drew, on the defensive front really stood up in the second half. Leonard Johnson wasn't able to break free on anything, and I think Bryn Harvey had, one run in the third quarter that looked like he could have gone the distance and got tackled on a one-on-one. Outside of that, their front five just really did a heck of a job in the second half.
Total confusion for Largo as the ball was snapped and two players were in motion as flags litter the field. Aquinas crowd still in their seats, enjoying every moment.
White.
So for Rick Rodriguez, this team at Largo will come back next year without two of their main weapons in Johnson and Harvey, but there's still plenty of talent in the cupboard. As as he has established such a great program here over the past 8 years. Those blue hats will be back. Coach Rodriguez always prided this program and the fact that he had a team finally established to where guys would not have to play both ways. Tonight, unfortunately, too many had to play both ways. And you get the feeling that could have been Largo's undoing.
Well, Drew, you know, a good college football season will allow better recruiting, right? A good high school football season allows more guys to want to come out and play football for you. So it should help in the long run.
Leonard Johnson looking downfield and unable to make the catch as Shane Hood went right through his arms as he had shaken free from the defender at the 35.
You know, we mentioned that Leonard Johnson is probably going to play defense when he moves up to the college level, but he's got enough athletic ability and throwing ability if he wanted to play quarterback, probably at a lower level than he could play defense, but he is some kind of an athlete.
He really is. A couple of years ago, he was playing second fiddle to Dexter McCluster, but Leonard Johnson became a leader of this Largo team, and he's going to leave his Packers Stadium tonight with no regrets. 4 wideouts in the game, and Johnson will lose the football. St. Thomas Aquinas appears to have fallen on it at the 25. As Alex Rodriguez trying to wrestle it away, but I think they're going to award the Raiders the football. Yes, they do. And from here, you got to think St. Thomas will just run it out.
A couple of kneel downs would just about do it. I'm really proud of these Largo Packers, Coach Rodriguez, and what he's done with them. Represented themselves well. Again, I don't think that the 35-13 represents really, truly the football game. Those points came in a, what, a 2.5, 3 minute span. Because remember, it was 6 minutes, and I said they don't look like they're really working hard to win this football game. They're going down for that drive to tie the football game, and then all of a sudden, 2 quick turnovers, and the field position just worked in Aquinas' favor.
It was such an emotional first half. The chains were moving, the crowd was on their feet. Everybody was into this football game. The Largo sideline was simply full of life. And a completely different picture in the second half. It's just amazing how momentum completely shifted and the wind was completely just gone from the sails of these Packers after that first play from scrimmage. Another kneel down and a flag comes down with 1:10 to go. So many great storylines all over our Bay Area this season in the northern counties. It was the play of Land O'Lakes after a season-ending injury to John Weatherford. Right before the first game, John Benedetto's club made it all the way to the postseason, played near flawless football throughout the season. The Gators playing well as Ridgewood High School. The Rams behind Burnell Arline, also impressive out of those northern counties. In Polk County, it was Kathleen playing well. Lakeland also showed that there's no such thing as a rebuilding year. And Lake Gibson not making the playoffs, still having a formidable season with Brody Bullock at quarterback. In Hillsborough County, Plant Panthers again showed that they had one heartbeat. Armwood, undefeated until tonight. And in Pinellas County, it was Largo High School, Bogosiega, Gibbs, improved play all the way around.
Don't forget Billy Turner's Chamberlain.
Chamberlain also, again, I have a feeling they've got some more honors coming their way. Chamberlain with not a lot of numbers, but again, showing tremendous heart down the stretch.
Dante Aycock was such a big force. He's coming back again next year. There's a lot of good football around this area.
Palmetto and Manatee County under Raymond Woody. Manatee Hurricanes with Coach Canan also making a run. Southeast, they'll be back next year. Around our Bay Area, there is no better place to cover high school football, I feel, in the entire country. What a fun job this is, Jeff, year in and year out. Next week, basketball season starts right here on Catch 47. Kathleen taking on Lakeland. It should be jam-packed as the Dreadnoughts meet the Red Devils on the hard court. It's all academic at this point.
But they actually are going to have to give the ball back to Largo one last time.
As now we're under a minute. And coming up after the game, another update from South Florida. Armwood falling tonight to Booker T. Washington. A tough night for both Tampa Bay area teams, Armwood and the Largo Packers. But we will join Chris Clark down there for one more update to give us more on that Armwood loss. And one that, looking at the score, we are shocked. Booker T, we knew they were good, but after watching Armwood last week, to beat Armwood 35-13, man, you've got to have some kind of football team.
It looked like they came up with a lot of big offensive plays, you know, long gashing type plays. And Armwood's not built for the big comeback either, similar to Largo, not really built for that big comeback if they get down by a couple touchdowns.
So the Raiders will take a knee, and with 25 seconds to go, now the possessions will shift. As St. Thomas comes off the field to a huge round of applause. The Raiders are advancing to the Class 5A state championship game, and there is no Lakeland to play next week. I think altogether, we've seen by this performance, their fans and their team, this team is a class act. They don't come and rub it in your face. I mean, they have, I think, from coaching staff all the way to their fans, been a class act here tonight, traveling from Broward County.
No doubt about that. Represented themselves well, as they always do.
Leonard Johnson takes a knee, and the Packers will call it a season. Your final, 35-13. And congratulations to Largo High School for a tremendous football season, as Bryn Harvey now takes his game to the college level, and a championship season. Even though they're not going to bring home gold, the Packers setting a new standard for their program and making Pinellas County awfully proud tonight. 35-13, both teams meet at midfield, and we'll have more after this from Packer Stadium as Largo ends their season right after this. The Largo Packers season is over. It comes to an end tonight by falling to St. Thomas Aquinas 35-13, a tale of two halves it was here at Packer Stadium. The very first play from scrimmage in the second half was this. Going deep was Ryan Becker, hooking up with his favorite receiver, Philip Pierre-Louis, and that set the tone for the rest of the half, as that gave the Raiders a 1-point lead, and from there, they were able to have their more diverse attack that really kept the Packers on their heels. Deron Carter, son of Chris Carter, with the touchdown. Leonard Johnson trying to will his way down the field, but the ball was knocked loose and St. Thomas took over.
And that was a big play. They were driving the football and gave up the gave up the fumble. And then Leonard Johnson just getting moved out of the pocket on numerous occasions. And these guys just had so many quicks, so many different guys. Harden, the guy that we talked about, had the big numbers on the season and had some big plays as well tonight.
The difference in the programs, Jeff, that was the difference tonight. Obviously, for Largo, this was uncharted territory. St. Thomas Aquinas had been here before.
No doubt about it. They've proven it, and they have so much depth and so much speed. Great athletes coming in every year.
212 yards. Still, they outrushed the Raiders. But the passing yards key, 141 for St. Thomas Aquinas. Good enough for the victory. 3 turnovers also for Largo. When we come back, we'll check in with Chris Clark down in Miami, as Armwood also falls tonight to Booker T. Washington. Back after this to Packer Stadium. This is the scene in Pinellas County. St. Thomas Aquinas wins 35-13. Largo ends their phenomenal season with one loss on the year. And down in South Florida, Chris Clark has the latest on Armwood High School. The Hawks falling a tough defeat to Booker T. Washington. Chris, what happened?
It was a tough night for Tampa teams all the way around, Drew. I thought that we had a game here. Armwood comes out, recovers a fumble on the 20, punches it in, quick 7-0 lead, but Booker T. Washington showing off that athleticism, and of course the thing that never goes into a slump, speed, as they were throwing the football all over the place. We talked with Armwood's Coach Callahan after the game.
I thought we didn't do a bad job of tackling, and we took a while to get used to this kind of playing surface and things like that. But, you know, really, I'm not making an excuse for anything. Booker T beat us, and they deserve to, represent our end of the state here, and hopefully they'll win it. You know, we turned the ball over a couple times too. So, you know, those things are the things we preach, and those are the things that bit us again. But it's because we've beaten them 3 times before, and I know none of us are very happy with the way things went tonight. And we said that the only team that can beat us is Armwood, and if Armwood shoots herself in the foot, we're going to lose it. And you know, but that's true. But again, I don't want to take anything away from Booker T because they beat us properly.
34-14, Booker T. Washington over Armwood. Indeed, the 5th time was a charm for the Tornadoes, and there would be no miraculous comebacks like there were the 2 times before. 34-14, the final down to Travis Pell Stadium. Drew?
All right, Chris Clark, thank you very much. A great job down there in South Florida reporting for us tonight. Booker T. Washington shows that they are definitely one of the best teams in the nation. And that's going to do it from here, Packer Stadium. You've been watching the Catch 47 Game of the Week as St. Thomas Aquinas wins 35-13. For our entire Catch 47 crew, my partner Jeff Carlson, Roxanne Wilder down on the field, and our producer Chris McCauley. I'm Drew Felios. We'll see you next week on the Catch 47 Game of the Week as we switch to the hard court. So long, everyone.